dates. The New Year's dance is Saturday, January 14th. The Sweetheart dance is Saturday, February 18th. Cost is $5 per person or $15 for the family. New Mexico Arts announces funding to expand opportunities for veterans and active duty service members to engage with the arts. NMA is offering $2,000 mini grants with a short application process at nmarts.org/NMA-military. The deadline to apply is January 13th.
If you have an item for Talktivities, email it to calendar@pvbcradio.com. That's calendar@pvbcradio.com.
Your home for Sean Hannity in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The new Republican majority House convenes in a few hours. The first order of business to elect a speaker. California's Kevin McCarthy wants the job, but we still don't know if he has the 218 votes needed to get the position. McCarthy is offering some major concessions to his critics. We'll soon know whether those are enough to win them over. Meanwhile, there is a good deal less drama over on the other side of the Capitol.
The Senate will convene at 12 noon Eastern Time in keeping with the Constitution. Following the prayer and pledge, the certificates of election will be presented. Senators will then be sworn in groups of 2. After the swearing in, there will be a live quorum, and after that is established, the Senate will adopt a number of housekeeping resolutions. Bob Agnew reporting.
Just back from his vacation, President Biden facing a changed political landscape.
During his first 2 years in office, President Biden had fellow Democrats in the majority of both the House and Senate. But the new Congress is divided, with Republicans now controlling the House of Representatives. As a result, the White House has been preparing for an expected flood of GOP investigations.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston. The thoughts and prayers of many going out to Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin, hospitalized in critical condition after collapsing on the field during last night's NFL game in Cincinnati. After restarting his heart, the paramedics rushed him to the hospital.
The game was indefinitely postponed.
So the emergency action plan went into effect.
NFL executive Troy Vincent.
It never crossed our mind to talk about warming up to resume play. That's ridiculous. That's insensitive, and that's not a place that we should ever be in.
Bills quarterback Josh Allen tweeted, "Please pray for our brother." I'm Jennifer King.
Dow futures are up 127 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
If you are 65 or older, you know this. Watching your hard-earned dollars fly out the window on healthcare costs is so frustrating, but here's some great news. If you missed the December 7th deadline for open enrollment, it's not too late. Here's something that can really help. It's MediShare 65 Plus. MediShare is a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills. It's people who encourage and pray for each other, too. MediShare 65 Plus is a low-cost option for those with Medicare Parts A and B, and it fills in the gaps where Medicare stops. It's a great way to fight inflation, too. You can lock in one low monthly price for up to 10 years. Plus, it's easy. You can use any Medicare-approved doctor or get 24/7 telehealth access from the comfort of your home. So worth looking into. MediShare 65 Plus is open for enrollment, and if you join right now, before January 31st, your second month will be free. So don't miss this chance. Call 855-SHARE-44. That's 855-SHARE-44. 855-SHARE-44.
A visit by an Israeli government official to a religious site in Jerusalem stirring controversy. The latest from the Media Line's Michael Friedson.
A minister at the center of fears surrounding Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's new government triggered waves of condemnations and kudos from others when he ascended Jerusalem's Temple Mount, Haram al-Sharif, to Muslims on Tuesday. Most had believed National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir had promised Netanyahu that he would delay his plans over security concerns. But following his visit, police said the event was coordinated with the political echelon. As condemnations of an alleged act of provocation poured in, praise for striking at the status quo were also heard. A long-standing agreement allows Muslim-only prayer at the site, allowing Jews and Christians severely limited access and a total ban on prayer. I'm Michael Friedson, Town Hall News, Jerusalem.
News and analysis at themedialine.org and townhall.com. On the ballot this year, Southern governors and big city mayors.
Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot will be asking voters for a second term leading one of the nation's biggest cities. Republicans will try to take full control of the Virginia legislature. Governors' mansions are up for election in Louisiana and Mississippi, and a Democratic governor in red state Kentucky will try to hang on for another term. While much of the political focus in 2023 is on the emerging presidential race, voters in some states will be weighing in on lower-profile contests that will nonetheless provide fresh insight into their priorities and their views on the direction of the country. Bernie Bennett reporting.
28-year-old Brian Koberger goes to court today in Pennsylvania. He is not expected to fight extradition to Idaho, where he is accused in the brutal killings of 4 University of Idaho students. Koberger is facing 4 counts of first-degree murder. He was arrested Friday morning at his parents' house in eastern Pennsylvania. His attorney says his client anxious to be exonerated. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy 2023, everybody.
Yeah, happy 2023. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
New year, same old us.
Yeah, yep. And it's not even a fresher, newer us.
Well,
just us.
Just more downtrodden.
Well, welcome to 2023. Hope all of you are having a wonderful day so far.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How was your New Year?
Good.
Your New Year's Eve, I guess I should say, your celebration.
Good. Uneventful.
Did you make it to midnight?
Yes.
Okay.
To midnight.
To midnight. And nothing else.
And nothing else.
Right.
Yeah.
You were like in bed counting down.
Well, no. I was watching just TV in general. I wasn't watching the ball drop or nothing.
Right.
I was. What was I watching? Was it Letterkenny? I watched the first 3 episodes of Letterkenny.
I just saw I've only seen the first one of season the 11th. Are we in now?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I was watching the first Letterkenny. Yeah.
We were at a get together. It was weird having not our normal New Year's festivities to attend. We were just kind of like, we don't know what to do with our hands. So we ended up at a biker party.
Okay.
Like a biker bar. The whole line of motorcycles out in the front.
Nice.
Fire barrels in the back.
You didn't knock over the string of bikes.
No, and I thought about it, though, several times. Like that thought occurred. It's like, oh, please. Because I had my kids with me. I was like, please don't bump into the bikes.
Yeah.
So, but it was great. Nice little spread. Good food, good desserts and stuff. It was the first time, and maybe the last time, I've ever going to see mini quiches at a biker bar.
I would not put those two together. Yeah.
It was very odd to see little mini quiches.
I feel like it's a fundraising event. Leather and quiche.
Right. Yeah. Leather and quiche. As expensive as eggs are right now, I can respect anybody who's bringing mini quiches to the table.
Right. Yeah. That's a baller move right there.
But yeah, the old people move that we pulled is we couldn't even stay the whole time. We were just like tired.
Right.
We ended up going home. I took the kids and we went home about 10. Well, it was actually close to 11.
Okay.
And I was still determined to stay up, but I was giving my kids the out if they wanted it. Rhiannon really wanted to stay up. As soon the second Hunter touched the couch, he was out.
He's out.
He was conked. But Rhiannon, God love her, she stayed up to the point where I was dozing on the couch. I was like falling out, and she's like, "Dad, sorry, I'm here. What? Who? Where? Something about a map." But we made it.
Good deal.
Kicking and screaming, made it to 2023.
Good deal.
Yep.
Well, good deal. Well, we'll probably chit chat more in the 9 o'clock. We don't have a guest that hour, so we'll chit chat about the weekends and things. Of course, crazy last night with football. It was in the news about the safety for the Bills there and getting hit and then just
collapsed.
Yeah, it was crazy. I didn't watch the game, but I saw the footage afterwards, and it kind of blew up on the internet and everything. And hopefully that. Last I heard, he's doing better. He's stable in a hospital and everything. But as far as what determined and all that, they're way too early for all that. But just crazy, and to see it on the national stage like that, it was on Monday Night Football and in front of millions of people is crazy. But obviously praying for his family and friends and everybody there. Let me give you the rundown for this show this morning here. Robert Sherman with the Walker Aviation Museum. He's going to join us here in just a few minutes, give us the first update of 2023, what's happening at the museum. I got a replay interview with the folks from American Legion Post 61 in the 8 o'clock hour. Give them, they're talking about their stuff the new year and things to get involved with. And then, like I said, the 9 o'clock hour, we don't have a guest scheduled, so we'll chit-chat there and talk about our New Year's and all that other good stuff. So
fun.
What's on our cabases. So, there was something else I was going to mention. I forget. Oh, we have a time for the football game now. Washington, which they're eliminated from the playoffs after a delightful weekend of dumb. Never mind.
If you can't say something nice, you're probably talking about the Commanders.
Well, it was funny. I wouldn't say funny. It's sad.
It's a little bit funny.
Because they put in Carson Wentz over the weekend to see if this guy's worth it.
Right.
And he's not.
He's
so not.
Poor guy.
Well, and then after
how fall from grace 2022 and 23 has been for him.
Well, he's going to be lucky to have an NFL job next year. I don't see.
Well, they're always looking for good custodians.
He probably end up being Washington's starting quarterback again because that's what we do.
There you go.
But anyway, our coach, I guess after the game, I thought it was sarcastic, but the more I'm hearing it, I don't think it was sarcastic. He didn't realize that Washington could be eliminated this weekend from the playoffs, and they were. Because he was like, well, if Green Bay loses, like this loss here, kind of, now, you worry about being eliminated. And he was like, oh, we can be eliminated? Oh, okay, I didn't know that. And it's like, yeah, well, guess what? You found out. You're eliminated.
Found out quick.
So that doesn't bode well when you're sitting on your press conference and people telling you could be eliminated this weekend, and your job's like, oh, really? I didn't know that. Doesn't bode well.
I feel like this is maybe the thing that I say to you more often than anything else, but it's a building year. Mm-hmm. We're building this decade. It's a building decade.
We've been building since 99.
Right.
But anyway.
It's a building generation.
Well, there's all hopes that they'll clear house everything, ownership and everything by this off season. So we'll see. But anyway, they're officially useless at this point. So the Cowboys game is Sunday at 2:25.
2:35, I think.
Yeah, against the Commanders in Washington. So tune in and listen to the fall of that franchise probably one more time in 2023.
And this from a fan.
Watch them as they implode right before your very eyes. Yeah. But I got a new hat.
That thing's going to be a collector's item when they change everything next season.
Yeah, I know. It is 7:13. Let's go ahead and take a gander at the weather, which, fair to Midland this week. Not too bad.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We may get a little bit of cloud cover for a few areas this morning, but turning sunny this afternoon, and it will be a lot cooler. Wind stays gusty, too, at 25 to 35 miles per hour, but we should have some sunshine through the rest of today, and we'll be in the mid-to-upper 50s. Clear and very windy overnight, mid-30s, and then tomorrow, not quite as windy, sunshine, and our afternoon high back up to 60.
I guess he's done. All right. Currently, 38 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 55%. Winds currently out of the north at 3 miles per hour. Today, looking at sunny skies, mid-50s today, 55 officially. A little breezy this afternoon. West winds 5 to 10 this morning, picking up 15 to 20 for this afternoon. Tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 33 degrees and west winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunny, highs near 60 tomorrow with west winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tomorrow night with an overnight low of 29 degrees. West winds 5 to 10. Thursday, mostly sunny, 61 for a high. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly sunny Friday with a high of 68. And then for the weekend, smidge cooler Saturday, mostly sunny, 59 for a high. Sunny on Sunday as well with a high of 58. So, but looking like Friday pushing 70 there. So, wouldn't that be crazy? Hit 70 in the first week of 2023. Welcome to New Mexico, right? All right, it is 7:15. No Roswell livestock report this week. They're off for the new year. They'll pick up with the livestock auction next weekend or next Monday. So nothing for this weekend. So we're just going to take a quick commercial break, and then on the other side of the break, Robert Sherman with the Walker Aviation Museum will join us. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
This is the owner of Trustmark Roofing, and nothing makes us happier than telling our customers no. As in, no pricing games. We give you a guaranteed price, and then we stand by it. No surprises, no gotchas. No obscurity. We don't just tell you what's wrong with your roof. We record our inspections and show you. No lemons. We install premium roofing materials from top brands like Owens Corning. No shortcuts. We're in the 2% of roofers with the Owens Corning Preferred Contractor Certificate for our local area. This means we offer precision installation and the longest warranties. Want a beautiful new roof that's built to last? Choose Trustmark Roofing, the roofer that loves to tell our customers no. For an estimate, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Hey, did you know that January 15th is the last day to enroll for health insurance for coverage in 2023? And since health insurance is now literally more affordable than ever, low cost or even no cost health insurance for you and your family is more affordable than you've ever thought. Let the friendly and knowledgeable team at Be Well NM guide you through the process. Our services are absolutely free, but you have to enroll before the January 15th deadline for coverage in 2023. Visit BeWellNM.com today.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keon at Carabelli Dental. Same-day smiles are what we do. My passion is helping patients chew, talk, and live with confidence. That's why I'm one of the few doctors in the U.S. who can create beautiful same-day smiles with the latest digital implant technology. This procedure is life-changing. Just ask Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean. I've been that voice that you've heard on the radio for most of my life, but I'm also a dad to 2 amazing kids. I've had a million reasons to smile, but in all my old pictures, I was never smiling. Truth is that life of improper care and being dealt a bad hand genetically left me practically with no teeth. It affected everything from the way I ate, the way I talked, and of course how I interacted with people. And that's where Dr. Keon and Carabelli stepped in. They eased my fears. They explained every step of the process in a way that I could understand, and they made me feel almost like I was part of the team. And now, I can't stop smiling. I have so much more confidence, and I love looking in the mirror now. I can't explain how much of a difference Dr. Keon's dental implant process made for me.
Our team can help you find your smile too. Come see us at Carabelli Dental, 575-622-4455.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The catfish has over 27,000 taste buds. Do you think they prefer fried or blackened? Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 18 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Walker Aviation Museum, Robert Sherman back with us. Happy New Year, Robert. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay, Mike. Glad to be back.
Glad to have you back. And,
actually, at my age, I'm glad to still be here.
Yeah, when you hit a certain point in life, and you're just like, every day is a good day because I'm upright still.
That's right.
So,
yeah,
absolutely.
Throw back the covers. Look If you don't have a tag on your toe, it's a good day.
There you go. Of course, for folks not familiar, Walker Aviation Museum is located inside the air terminal out at the airport, and it is a museum dedicated to the Air Force Base that called the south end of town home, Roswell Army Airfield, later Walker Air Force Base, and then also talking about the history of this area's role during the Cold War. With the intercontinental ballistic missiles and things that this area called home during the early part of the Cold War era, and all of that. So that's kind of what the museum's about. And of course, we love to encourage folks to, if you're going to be out at the airport, or if you're looking for something to do with your family or youth group or something, the museum would love to host your events or host your little groups for fun and for education.
Right. That education's the last word.
Yes.
We like to educate people on some of the history of what went on here in Roswell back from like the 1941 to 1967 time frame. And of course, one of our missions today, besides talking about the history of the military base that was here, is the support of kids. When I say kids, young folks that are out trying to make a decision on what they want to do in life.
Sure.
And one of the ways we are trying to do that is through a grant from Xcel Energy. We got a couple of flight simulators that are really pretty sophisticated, but right now they're set up for fairly simple aircraft, but there's Lockheed software, and they can fly 50 different aircraft and land almost any airport in the world.
Yeah.
So you get somebody in that's pretty familiar with that. You can say, well, you can, select an F-22 Raptor fighter plane and land at Istanbul, Turkey at 9 o'clock at night in the rain.
And it's like flying a real F-22, not flight simulator game or whatever that you play on your computer or your Xbox.
We have rudder pedals, and the yoke and stuff. But
you got to know the instruments, the whole.
And what comes up on the screen is the instruments that are on that aircraft.
Sure.
Yeah, so you're actually seeing.
And I imagine the more modern aircraft that you're simulating, the more advanced the heads-up display and everything.
Everything
on it. Yeah,
it's totally different. Yeah.
You get in a Cessna, it's going to look a lot different, that cockpit, than say you're getting in an F-22 or
we have it set up for one
military
Cessna, I think 172 now.
Yeah.
So they can get and fly around and fly through these little green squares, and then finally, if they come up to a little yellow circle and fly through that, then they've completed everything, and a little band in the background plays like, yay, good job.
So you get some rewards for completing the different objectives and things.
I want to mention before we go on, our website, WAFB, standing for Walker Air Force Base, WAFBmuseum.org, is now, thanks to Juliana Halverson, really a good source of education for children or young folks. I keep saying children. When you're my age, I guess everybody's
they're all
children. But anyway, to go to. So you can go to that website, and once you get there, if you're on a computer, it'll come up in a different place versus your smartphone. But you can go up in the right-hand corner, upper corner. There's these little, horizontal lines. You click on that, and you get, a list of things. Education, history, stuff like that. You can just touch on history. Touch on education. And then, boom, up comes a page of our description that we give to principals and teachers and other people in the churches and stuff that tells our little program that we have out at the museum, which lasts about 2.5 to 3 hours, and ideally set up because of only 2 flight simulators and the small museum size for 8 to 12 people max. And they come out and get a little orientation of history, and then they get a little orientation of on a flight simulator, half of them, while the other half see about 13 different careers off of YouTube.
Nice.
So then they flip-flop and go the other way. So when they leave, they've kind of had 13 different ideas on YouTube and a little chance to fly a Cessna 172, and this is pretty good, pretty interesting.
Yeah, the whole point is obviously educating, but inspiring kids. If kids that are looking and using the museum's using that platform as saying, hey, there's some great STEM related career fields. And most of them generally are through aviation, but not all of them. They're, you know, so it's just exposing these kids to these opportunities to say, hey, you know, a career in STEM can be pretty cool. Look at the opportunities just in the aviation industry, whether you're a mechanic or flying them or designing them.
Right.
You know, it's really cool. So that's what it's about. It's hopefully inspiring these kids to see STEM-related career fields and be inspired to hopefully be the next generation of pilots and mechanics and you know, aviation enthusiasts.
And what's the really cool thing about this is Juliana put that on there. So, you know, you as a instructor or an adult, or, you know, having younger folks in the house can look at this and say, oh, this is the program they have. Okay, that's one thing you have. But then as you scroll on down on that website under education, you'll come across the 55 or so YouTubes that deal with career. And then you can have about 35 of them listed on different ones we selected that are really interesting as far as aviation or aircraft is concerned. Then, the big thing is, as you continue to go beyond the list of YouTubes, unfortunately it's not set up right now where you can touch that particular YouTube title and boom, go to that YouTube. But you can, you know, write that down and just search it on YouTube and you'll find it. Then, if you can scroll on down, you'll hit a deal on professional pilot training, and that's where you'll come across about 35 videos on professional pilot training. It's all the same company, and it's, you know, it has maybe 2 of them on instruments, 2 of them on aircraft weather. And if you watch all 35 of those, plus the 3 other ones on aerospace medical factors, and actually there's one on there 20 minutes long on drone flying.
Oh, wow.
So you can go across that, but you can click on that and it'll actually play, right? Start playing right there on your iPhone, and you can watch, you know, starting out, Introduction to Flying, Aircraft Structure, Principles of Flight, Aerodynamics of Flight, Aerodynamics of Flight, Aerodynamics of Flight. So there's an example of 3. That's almost an hour of aerodynamics of flight.
Just showing the concepts.
You can really
of how
get
planes
into a lot of detail.
Yeah.
And
so you can get in the weeds or as cursory as you want to with it.
Right.
Kind of thing.
And then you search on down until you see 3 color photographs on your phone or on your computer. And the computer, I believe, is at the top, and the iPhone is at the very bottom if you scroll down. Then you come across a little section that says Professional Pilot Training YouTube. It just says, and you click on that. No, excuse me. Corrected. You come across a box that says Comprehensive List of STEM Jobs. And you click on that and you go to a different website, which is actually the same website that's being used by Roswell High School.
Okay.
And I know Goddard, I think, is using the same one, or vice versa. I know Goddard, they told me, we were at a meeting with them, and they said, yeah, we use that website.
Oh, nice.
So anyway, you come across that, and up comes a different website that lists 331 science, technology, engineering, and math jobs. And then you touch on one of those that you select that you're like, that's interesting. And boom, here comes about anywhere from 5 to 15 pages of information on that job.
Oh, wow.
So as a young person, I wish I had that when I was that age. I could go through and find something that sounds really interesting to me. I could touch it, and you have a chance to look at it and study it. So there you go, right there on your phone. You can sit there as you're driving along, or you're flying, or just sitting in your, you know, living room on a Sunday afternoon, and you can look through all those 331 STEM jobs, or you can go through 38 videos of professional pilot training. So
nice.
And then further on down that same website, under education, we put together about 13 pages of STEM jobs in the Roswell region.
Okay.
Taken out 3 phone books. So we just kind of put those together.
Nice.
They're probably 98% accurate, but it gives you a list of all the particular jobs you have here in the area.
It gives you definitely a good idea of what to expect and what to find here in our community. And by the way, I know, like, you know, with the college, you know, with Eastern New Mexico University Roswell here, and because it's too located where this base was at, it offers a lot of training in the air industry stuff, drone technology to mechanics to flying and everything else too. So we kind of have a unique, area of ability to do some of this aviation industry STEM related stuff because we're just equipped for it.
Yeah.
And so not only can you learn about what these jobs are, but here locally, a lot of this stuff you can start your path to training for all of that.
That's right.
So it's really good.
WAFBmuseum.org.
Man,
go for it.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Juliana, for putting that on there for us.
Yeah, she's kind of your guru when it comes to.
She's our Energizer bunny.
Yeah, when it comes to chronicling history and technology with you guys, she's kind of your go-to source.
Yeah,
for
she
all
is.
that,
She's really great. Yes, so
Good
anyway, we're plugging along and want to thank some people. For example, this year so far, Pioneer Bank, Featherstone Development Corporation, Glenn Furniture, Six Bomb Wing Reunion Group, and David Petroleum and General Murray, who was here, have all donated substantial amounts of money to help us keep our doors open. And
good deal.
The rent went up a little bit, but
as it does from time to time.
As it does from time to time. So
cost of living, cost of doing business.
We're still in the process of trying to contact some folks to help us out, and because we're for the last couple of years haven't done any golf tournaments, but maybe we'll get back to that eventually.
Hopefully, maybe 2023 on the plans for maybe trying again, or
maybe so.
All right,
we're getting ready to sit down and see what we're going to do this year.
We'll make you determine your direction here very soon in the next. By the way, speaking of that, you guys are always looking for new volunteers to serve on the board.
That's a big issue.
Yeah, if you're interested in helping to kind of shape the future of the museum, love to volunteer and be a part. Even if maybe you're not ready to work on the board, but if you're maybe retired or have some free time and like to work as a docent or just help, with physical labor of moving exhibits and, building things and taking care of stuff from time to time, they're always looking for volunteers. And of course, if you love to serve on the board, they're always looking for those folks to share their expertise. You guys have a pretty unique board of folks from different backgrounds that makes up a really good group of people to kind of steer the direction of the museum. So
right.
But reach out, come on out, and check out the website or whatever if you're interested in getting more involved too.
Yeah, let me run through this. Of course, on the board is myself. Allie Bishop is our new treasurer. Katie Yates used to be the treasurer, but she's still on our board. Sandy Correa, secretary. Bob Donnell, Juliana Halverson, Judy Armstrong, Jerry Kloffer, Friar Jarek Nowacki, the priest there in the Catholic Church, Stephen Miller, and General Doug Murray said, "I'm not here, but I want to still be on the board in absence." And he's
like the emeritus.
Yeah, we
board
keep
member.
track with him. And then Ted Smith is our newest guy to join our board, and he's really one of our main volunteers out at the museum right now. He's kind of suffering some illness, so he's kind of staying home.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
But he's a great history guy and putting together all kinds of information. I wouldn't be surprised if he put almost a book together. He's just doing all kinds of research on everything from accidents that occurred here and exactly what planes were here and weren't here. And
oh, wow.
So
in all fairness, he loves doing that stuff.
Yeah,
that's
he's
like
retired,
his passion.
30 years Army.
So as much as he's doing a service for the museum,
oh yeah, great job.
He's probably like a kid in a candy store going through this.
Yeah, he is. A big kid in the candy store. Right. Now Ted's doing a great job.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, today before we depart, I was going to talk a little quick history blip on. I think I talked about this about a year or two ago, but kind of interesting thing dealing with the end of World War II, the last bombing of Nagasaki.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll talk a little bit, kind of interesting twist on that particular story and how it kind of got things mixed up a little bit initially. But, we're in contact with schools, the church groups, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Youth Challenge, other folks, trying to get folks to come out and schedule a group of young folks to come out and get our program and get a little history.
Yeah.
And we take them out to the edge of the flight line, and we talk to them about kind of some of the businesses that are on the flight, at the Air Center. And all
the
that
kids
kind of
love
stuff.
that too, because a lot of that's restricted. Most people can't just walk around that area up for security reasons, obviously. So that's kind of another cool peel back of the curtain that these groups get to see and see parts of the airport there that the public generally doesn't get access to. So
yeah, if you are out there and you want to go on YouTube, there's a particular one. Gary Sinise does the narration. I talked about it before. The Enola Gay B-29 Super Fortress, the bomber that dropped the atomic bomb, and it goes in. It's about an hour and a half long, but it's all the history of kind of building up the B-29. Paul Tibbetts' background as the pilot of that mission, and how he started out going to be a doctor, and then he got a chance to ride in a little biplane and throw new candy bars out that this guy had developed called the Baby Ruth. Everybody knows those. And he did that for a week, and then he got really hooked on flying. So he ended up, being a flyer, and he played a really key role in bombing missions in Europe. And then he was transferred back and was put in charge of the mission, the super secret mission that was coming up, and how they went to Wendover, Utah, and did that, and eventually went up to Tinian to carry out the mission that ended the war and probably saved.
So they spent some time training for it before they.
Oh, absolutely! They trained all over and over again with these what they call pumpkin bombs, and they would just drop them. That was the same shape as the one they were going to carry, and the fact that when they dropped it at high altitudes they could get, they'd make a hard turn left or right.
So I'm assuming they knew which the targets were by then during training, or were they just?
No, they didn't know for sure, because that was still kind of being discussed.
So they were just the concept of dropping an atomic bomb and getting the precision.
Yeah. And while a lot of this was going on, Truman, who found out, like if you read this book that Countdown 1945 by Chris Wallace, that's the #1 bestseller. And it was copyright 2020, but it's really good, and it talks about Truman. Starts out, the first paragraph or two talks about Truman getting called over to the White House. He said, oh, good, I'm going to get to meet with, the president only met with him twice so far, and found out that, no, you're the president now. He had passed away. And then a lot of that book takes place, he's over in Europe dealing with Churchill and Stalin while they're making decisions on what target to hit and stuff. Because this is when the Germans were defeated.
Yeah.
So they were over there. And, I didn't realize that they were planning on dropping atomic bombs on Germany and Japan on the same day.
Ooh, wow.
But, Germany won.
Yeah.
I didn't, realize a lot of stuff you come up in this book that you didn't realize that was going on.
I would imagine dropping a bomb in Europe, in Germany, would have a much bigger impact than Japan.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just depending on the winds and everything else.
You're surrounded by countries.
I'm wondering.
I was kind of shocked to hear that, but.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, that's when I hear that, I'm like, there would have been a lot more casualties if they would have dropped one in Germany.
Yeah, right.
Ooh, yeah.
But anyway, so that's kind of that situation. But,
interesting.
Yeah. So there's some good things out there. Countdown 1945 and the Enola Gay B-29 Super Fortress on the YouTube.
Have you ever had a chance to see the Enola Gay in person?
I did. I think I saw it. I've been to, the museum.
Yeah, I've seen it in a couple different forms.
Yeah.
It's housed by the Smithsonian Institute. The actual plane itself has now been put back together, and it is now on display in D.C. at the Air and Space Dulles Annex, not in the main museum in D.C. proper, but out there. They have an annex facility out in Virginia, Dulles Airport, and they keep the Enola Gay there. They keep a space shuttle there. They have a Concorde there, an SR-71 Blackbird, some other aircraft as well, too. But the Enola Gay is one of the featured aircraft there. And so I've seen it put together there. But for years prior, they didn't have it fully on display. It was, and so they had a partial display in the Smithsonian Museum in D.C. Where you could see the tail, and they had the cockpit in there, and you could go and look in the cockpit from there, and they had a whole section talking about what the plane did, but it wasn't fully assembled it was in pieces, the plane. Now it's fully assembled and sitting there at the Dulles Annex, and you can I mean, it's got ropes around it, but you can kind of get up and look and see it in its glory there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So definitely worth a check out if you're ever in D.C.
By the way, if you do come by the museum, we've still a fairly small area, but we've put 5 4x8 pegboards up on the south concrete wall. That was really hard to hang pictures on because it was reinforced concrete and stuff. But Steve Griffin, Jim Williams, and Bob Donnell got together with that idea and put that up so we can really hang and move pictures around real easy on that wall. And we had an interesting time when we were putting that up because we were using a nail gun. And we had to let TSA know when they hear a gunshot go off that it was...
They get a little nervous.
Don't say shots fired and have everybody hit the floor or something. But so anyway, got that done and got that up and running. So
good deal. So if you're looking for, come check out the airport now. The museum is open generally to the flying schedule. So
unfortunately, because we only got 3 of us right now, Bob Donnell.
If you want to volunteer more.
Yeah.
If you want to do more than the 3 gentlemen that are doing it all the time, then we can do that. But in the meantime, it flies around the flying schedule. If you check AA.com, and when they have their couple flights a day that come in and out of Roswell.
Usually it's the midday flight, which right now is at 1:50 takeoff. And so we get there about 11:30. Sometimes Ted gets out there earlier because he's, doesn't have anything else to do, so he goes out there. But 11:30 till about 2 o'clock.
Okay.
And we want to try to be there after the plane lands, comes in from Dallas, so the people getting off have a chance to see the museum. But then by that time, everybody's kind of been checked through TSA, and they're ready to board the aircraft.
Yeah.
So leading up to that, that's where we get our visitors.
So the public can help out by one of 2 ways: coming early and looking at the stuff, or showing up late to pick up your people so they've got time to look at it while they're waiting on you to come get them.
Right. That's right. There you go.
So be a service to the museum and show up late to pick up the people you're supposed to pick up. So they can come. They'll appreciate you for it, even though they might yell at you for a minute. They'll appreciate it later. So.
That's right.
But check out the website too, wafbmuseum.org. There you can, like you said, check out all the videos and everything that Robert was talking about earlier. But at the same time, if you're interested in volunteering, if you're interested in getting more involved, then that's a great space to do that. And of course, if you
shopping on Amazon, go to
the Amazon Smile tab too. I always forget about that as well. The Walker Aviation Museum, not the Air Force Base, the Aviation Museum does have a Amazon Smile tab. If you go through the Amazon Smile, for folks who've been through Amazon, almost all of us have, I'm sure, at some point or another, you can designate the museum to basically get a little funding every time you go shopping on Amazon. So you go shop on Amazon and buy your things. It doesn't cost you any more, but for every time you shop Amazon, a portion of your purchase, a few pennies, will go to the museum. So if you get enough people doing that, they get a nice little check each month. It's just, they might get a couple bucks here and there, but enough people do it, they could get a few $100 each month, just by you shopping on there. And I know we always tell people to shop local, and that's a good thing, and definitely do that. But sometimes you can't, and so if you use the Amazon Smile, you're at least helping local when you're not shopping local. So it's a good thing to help out there too. So
that's right.
You'll find a direct link at wafbmuseum.org. That way you can go, if you're next time you go through Amazon, go to the museum website, go through that link, and then bookmark it. And then every time you go to Amazon, just go through that bookmark, and then you can kind of help out the museum without thinking about it. Just kind of happens that way. So.
We made up a new little card that unfortunately has my name on the back of it, but I guess that's because I'm the current board president. But I put on the back on my card, on my side, it says Roswell High School, class of 61. So people are like, oh, okay, you're from Roswell. And I was in the Air Force 68 to 98, and I was an air crew instructor for 27 years. So when I made this card up so that when I'm dealing with teachers and stuff, it's like I'm one of you. I used to teach air crew for 27 years, and aerospace physiology, human factors in aviation, and aircraft accident prevention, and and sometimes some aircraft accident investigation. But pressure suit operations for 11 years. And then the last 3 years, they made me a hospital commander or clinic commander because they decided they didn't want to waste a doctor on being a clinic or hospital commander. So I was one of the first ones they tried out on that up in Montana.
Well, yeah, when you spend generally speaking for military folk, and this for enlisted officer, it doesn't really matter. The first half, if you do a full 20 or so in the military, 20, 30, usually like the first half of the career, you're doing your job.
Right.
And then as you get leadership and everything else, you turn into more of a leadership role. So you may be a leader in your expertise. They may just be a leader in a place where they need a leader.
That's right.
So even though you're kind of trained for doing aircraft, that kind of stuff, by the time you're later in your career, you can end up, being the commander of a chow hall.
A good example of that is my first assignment. I was a pilot training base at Williams Air Force Base in Mesa, Arizona. And one of my class leaders that came in was the Major Andy Anderson. And he was a major because he was a doctor. He was trained to be a pilot. He went on to fly F-4s. But later on, like we're talking about, when I was getting ready to do this, he was Surgeon General of the Air Force, 3-star, and I was, a guy that worked in his office there at Bowling and at Washington, D.C., and so we knew each other really well, and he just said, going to try to do that. So that's one of my things on that is be careful when you're around people early in life because you never know what's going to happen when you meet them later in life.
Exactly. And it's kind of shocking because if your peers that you meet when you're young airmen, and let's face it, there's still a lot of kids at that stage, 18, but they're teenage boys basically.
Yeah.
And so you get to be friends with them, and then you see them 10, 15 years later where they're in places of leadership, and you're like, don't trust that guy, but that they've matured so much, but it's that, it's like, oh, they're still kind of goofy, as you remember, but yeah, you mature in that time. And so when you see a kid that's 18 with you and you're both young and dumb and stupid and doing things, and then you see them 10, 15 years later, and you see that change, and it's, I don't know, to me that's part of the cool part of the military.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's the life. It really is. So,
do we have time to do a quick history on the Nagasaki thing?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. And of course, in this book that I was telling you about, Countdown to 1945, there was lots and lots of grinding of just people concerned about dropping atomic bomb and all the casualties of civilians and stuff. But at the time that was going on, they were looking at having to invade Japan and all the casualties that the Allies would suffer doing this, and all the casualties that the Japanese would suffer doing this. They were training children with bamboo sticks. They would go down the beaches and try to stab people coming on the. I mean, if you're just talking about, and the soldiers dealing with, seriously, you want me to try to shoot a child?
Sure.
Yeah, it was all kind of crazy stuff. So
it was going beyond, for lack of better, rules of war, so to speak.
So they were just hoping that something shocking like this would happen, and then they say, okay, fine, we surrender. But at that time, they weren't going to surrender. So anyway, so it was not an easy decision that you find.
But you're right.
In
the long run, we probably saved a bunch of lives by doing what we did, because more than likely this war would have dragged on and on with Japan.
Because the one before that was Okinawa, 82 days on Okinawa, and all the casualties suffered from that, and all the
you got to, at that mindset, the ideology was, and ultimately it worked, was kind of a shock and awe to get them to surrender.
Right.
Like, but wait, you think that's bad? We got more coming.
Right.
And you want to play this game? We will win. And that ultimately it worked. But that was the strategy.
So, if reviewing quickly the interesting history and connection of the B-29s, one was named Boxcar, and the other was called the Great Artiste.
Yes.
And their role in World War II. Major Charles Sweeney, he was a 393rd Bomb Squadron commander. He flew a B-29 called the Great Artiste, and it flew during the Hiroshima mission, and it flew as a blast measurement instrument aircraft. Because this was, matter of fact, when they dropped that bomb on Hiroshima, it had never been tested. The one they dropped on Nagasaki was tested in the desert out here by White Sands.
Got you. Okay.
So they were two different bombs. So Major Sweeney and the great artiste were scheduled to carry the atomic bomb on the second mission to Kokura, and that was going to be the target for the second bomb rather than Hiroshima. Of course, Hiroshima's first, Kokura was the second. The blast instrumentation was supposed to be moved from the great artiste to the B-29 named boxcar to make room for the atomic bomb on the great artiste. However, because of weather situations coming up, they moved the second atomic bombing from the 11th of August to the 9th of August, and therefore they did not have time to transfer the equipment out of the great artiste to boxcar. So they said, okay, we'll just fly the boxcar instead, and they took the crew that were flying the great artiste and they went over to fly the boxcar. And then the boxcar crew went back and they were going to fly the great artiste, which already had the equipment in it.
Gotcha.
Sounds kind of confusing, but
it makes sense in the logistics thing. And
you kind of wonder, why don't you just do that in the first place instead of trying to transfer equipment, whatever.
Sure. Well, and quite frankly, I'm sure, the pilots, everybody, they fly planes.
Yeah, and they want to fly their plane with their crew chief or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially in a mission as important as this.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So when arriving at Kokura during the bombing mission on the 9th, boxcar flew 3 bomb runs over the city of Kokura, and that lasted 50 minutes without being able to see the target, and therefore he diverted to the alternate target of Nagasaki. The atomic bomb, the Fat Man, was dropped, as it was called, dropped on Nagasaki at 10:58 a.m. on 9 August. It was a 21 kiloton weapon, exploded 500 meters, about 1,500 feet above the ground, similar to Hiroshima. However, it was about 1.5 miles northwest of the planned aiming point, so they missed their aiming point by 1.5 miles. Approximately 44% of the city was destroyed, and part of it was protected by intervening hills. Due to the failure of a fuel transfer pump, the aircraft boxcar had 640 gallons of fuel that it couldn't use, so it made an emergency divert and landing at Okinawa rather than returning to a landing planned at Iwo Jima. So when they landed, the boxcar could not contact the ground because its radio had failed. So maybe we're talking here again about an aircraft that was set up, but anyway, it was substituted.
Sure.
So it fired flares to warn of the unannounced landing, and it lost one engine on final approach because of lack of fuel, and it landed 30 miles an hour faster than normal, and then lost another engine after touchdown and almost crashed at the end of the runway, but was able to perform a high-speed 90-degree turn.
Wow.
So it was a close call.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So a war correspondent, William Lawrence of the New York Times, was on board the Great Artiste, not realizing Boxcar and the Great Artiste had changed places because during those missions, only the Enola Gay had a name painted on the nose. The other ones did not have names painted on the nose.
Okay.
So he mistakenly reported to the New York Times that the Great Artiste had dropped the atomic bomb, when it actually was the aircraft was the boxcar. And none of the B-29s, like I said, had their names painted on. So anyway,
interesting.
That's kind of how initially there was some confusion that the second aircraft was the Great Artiste.
Do you know off the top of your head where Boxcar and the Great Artiste are they still in a museum somewhere?
Know.
Are they?
I should know that, but I'm
kind of curious. I've never seen them, and I'm not sure where. I have to go. I might dig online and do that. I'm kind of curious.
Yeah.
I've seen the Enola Gay, and I know where it's at, but I'm kind of curious for the Great Artiste. I wonder if one of them's at Wright Pat, maybe in Ohio. I don't know.
That's a good question. I will.
I'd be very curious.
Give me something to look at.
I'd be very curious to see where they're currently home to. So. Check out the website, wafbmuseum.org. Come on down and see the museum. They are located in the air terminal. If you go through the main entrance, you can't miss it, right there. And then, of course, if you want to be a volunteer or anything else, check out the museum website. Go ahead and check out there as well, too. And then, of course, you can reach out to Robert directly here. Where's the cell phone here? That'd be the best number.
That's my cell phone.
575-420-3789 if you want to volunteer, have questions.
Yeah.
If you want
to. I don't recognize your phone number, so just text me initially.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a call back, and we can definitely get together. And
yeah,
I'd love to have you come out and we show you around. And some of the stuff. It's actually, I'm retired, but like yesterday we had 22 visitors, and I'm going out again today. But you meet interesting people from all over the country, and it's a positive thing. It's a lot better than sitting around the house miserable watching TV or drinking coffee. Just get out there and meet some folks for 2-3 hours. And
it's very
help
interesting.
us out. Yeah, it's interesting.
It's a really good deal. So, well, thank you, Robert. As always, appreciate the visit. Happy New Year, and we'll see you next month, okay?
That's right.
All right. 7:53, quick break before news. Don't go away.
With your Pecos Valley News update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Carlsbad Mayor Dale Janway is taking a look back on 2022. In his final letter to the Community of the Year, Janway said one of the biggest accomplishments was the enhancements to the Carlsbad Beach area, which include new soccer goals, pickleball and volleyball courts, and an additional picnic area with shade structures. Janway says there's even more on the horizon, which includes development of a mini golf course. Roswell police are investigating a shooting Friday night that left one person dead at the Leisure Inn, 2700 West 2nd Street. 27-year-old Anthony McCullough was arrested the following morning after admitting to police that he shot 32-year-old Adam Trujillo. McCullough reportedly told police that the shooting happened after an argument, but he claims Trujillo threatened him first. A statement from Roswell police says McCullough performed CPR on Trujillo, but the man never recovered. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Today, the tech changes that will affect you and your family in the new year. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by T-Mobile. Their advanced network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. This new year brings artificial intelligence pushing even deeper into all our lives. You won't see it, not directly, but AI will control more of how we search the internet, what stores sell, how doctors diagnose, even hometown physicians. Tesla's troubles will grow. The federal investigation into its autopilot system will lead to heavy fines. There's even an outside chance of an indictment or two, not to mention lawsuits from those injured. The biggest unknown is the Supreme Court. Should the court strike down a law called Section 230 of the 1996 Communications Decency Act, and it should, then Facebook, Twitter, and all of social media will be held directly responsible, just like newspapers and broadcasters, for everything that allows to be posted online. Hey, you can enter to win a $500 gift card at my website right now. That's commando.com/win. As a small business owner or hiring manager, you know that success in 2023 all depends on the team members you surround yourself with. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. With LinkedIn Jobs, you can hire qualified candidates more efficiently by matching open roles with people who have the skills, values, and experiences to help you achieve your goals. LinkedIn Jobs helps you quickly attract qualified candidates to your open roles with targeting tools. They go beyond resume data by using insights from your job post and company. Plus, their 875 million member profiles put your post in front of the most qualified candidates. LinkedIn Jobs makes it easy to screen and rate applicants based on your job qualifications, all on one platform. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus all the leading competitors. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Kim. That's linkedin.com/Kim to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We may get a little bit of cloud cover for a few areas this morning, but turning sunny this afternoon, and it will be a lot cooler. Wind stays gusty, too, at 25 to 35 miles per hour, but we should have some sunshine through the rest of today, and we'll be in the mid to upper 50s. Clear and very windy overnight, mid-30s, and then tomorrow, not quite as windy, sunshine, and our afternoon high back up to 60.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Ready for some more basketball? Yeah, the New Year's break is over, so we're back in action tonight for the Roswell and Goddard boys basketball teams. Roswell, remember, just came off winning the Poke Horn Championship, defeating Navajo Prep in the finals, and the Coyotes are 7-6 overall. They'll be at home tonight against the Lovington team that is 7-3. That starts at 7 o'clock this evening. Goddard, meanwhile, which lost to Navajo Prep in the opening round of the Poke Horn, is 3-8 overall. they did pick up a couple of victories after that loss, and will be back in action tonight against Dexter, which is 3-7 overall. Dexter, that game starts at 6:30 this evening, and the Dexter girls are in action tonight as well. They'll be at home against Tatum. Dexter is 3-9. Tatum is 4-4. That starts at 5:30. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. A problem with a critical air traffic control system that caused flight delays at major airports in Florida on Monday has been fixed. That's according to the Federal Aviation Administration. A problem with the functioning of a system used to control air traffic prompted the FAA on Monday afternoon to issue a so-called ground stop order, slowing traffic into Florida airports. Tesla reports selling a record 1.3 million vehicles last year, but the number fell short of CEO Elon Musk's pledge to grow the company's sales by 50% nearly every year. The 2022 figure topped the prior record of 936,000 vehicles delivered in 2021. Chinese manufacturing contracted for a third consecutive month in December, in the biggest drop since early 2020, as the country battles a nationwide COVID-19 surge after suddenly easing health and safety epidemic measures. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander at Washington.
9 of 10 people with pre-diabetes don't even know they have it. Left untreated, diabetes can lead to other health complications including heart disease, stroke, and liver disease. Don't put off your care any longer. Artesia General Hospital's Diabetes Care Team can help you make a personalized plan to manage diabetes or pre-diabetes and reclaim your health. Learn more or request an appointment at artesiageneral.com/diabetes.
The great one, Mark Levin, is now in Roswell on 106.5 KEND Roswell.
I'm Rich Thomason. After collapsing on the field, Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin is hospitalized in critical condition. This happened last night as the Bills were playing the Bengals in Cincinnati. Hamlin suffered cardiac arrest after a first-quarter tackle. CPR was administered before he was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance. The NFL's Troy Vincent.
The emergency action plan took in place, which we cover on a weekly basis with all 32 clubs. Also, 90 minutes when we get the coaches and the medical staff together prior to each kickoff. So the emergency action plan went into effect.
It led to the indefinite postponement of Buffalo's pivotal showdown with Cincinnati. And we're just a couple of hours away from a showdown of a different kind on Capitol Hill.
The new Congress opens with House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy clinging to his political survival, with the potential to become the first nominee for Speaker in 100 years to fail to win initial support from his own colleagues in a high-stakes vote for the gavel. Lawmakers convene today for a new era of divided government as Democrats relinquish control of the House after midterm election losses. While the Senate barely remains in Democratic hands, House Republicans are eager to confront President Joe Biden's agenda after 2 years of a Democratic Party monopoly on power in Washington.
That's Capitol Hill correspondent Bernie Bennett. More precipitation on the way to parts of Northern California.
Talking inches as far as the rainfall goes. You can just switch that metric to feet for the snow. And that's mainly in the much higher elevations of the Sierra Nevada primarily, but they've already had anywhere from 3 to 5 feet from these prior events, and they could see another 1 to 3 feet pretty easily at those higher elevations.
That's William Churchill at the National Weather Service. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is up 56 points, the NASDAQ 94 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, I'm Al Abaroa, founder of Knight Strategic Wealth. Inflation is a problem, markets are volatile, and the risk of running out of money in retirement is real. That's why I love annuities, and you should too. Your financial advisor doesn't want you to know that with our annuity strategy, when the stock market goes up, you earn a market-linked return that locks in every year, and when the stock market goes down, your annuity won't lose a dime. There are no unnecessary fees, and it works for your investments, money at a brokerage firm, or even money at a bank. It's simple, it's safe, and you should only invest if you learn the facts. And that's why savvy investors work with us. Want to learn more? Text FREE to 833-898-0500, and we'll send our retirement readiness kit directly to your phone right now. If you want to use safe, low-fee annuities to build a retirement portfolio that will go up with the market and never lose money, get our retirement readiness kit today and see how this strategy can help secure your future. Text FREE to 833-898-0500. Text FREE to 833-898-0500.
The U.S. has returned a looted ancient Egyptian artifact.
It's an ancient wooden coffin, a sarcophagus that dates back to the late dynastic period of ancient Egypt, an era that spanned from 664 B.C. until Alexander the Great's campaign in 332 B.C. It may have belonged to an ancient priest. It had been on display at the Houston Museum of Natural Sciences, but 3 months ago, the Manhattan DA's office determined it had been looted from an area north of Cairo and smuggled into the U.S. in 2008, trafficked by a well-organized network that has done this with other antiquities, says the DA. I'm Rita Foley.
Well, much of the Alps just don't look right for this time of year. Sparse snowfall, unseasonably warm weather in Europe's central mountains, allowing grass to blanket the hillsides across the region. Disappointing for ski slope operators and those who treasure that alpine white. News and analysis, townhall.com. It's not just Texas and Arizona. Florida is seeing an influx of illegal immigrants, albeit in smaller numbers.
A U.S. national park comprising a cluster of islands in the Florida Keys was closed Monday after 300 migrants made landings there over the weekend. Separately, 160 migrants arrived by boats in other parts of the islands. Dry Tortugas National Park, about 70 miles west of Key West, was closed so that law enforcement and medical personnel could evaluate the migrants before moving them to Key West. The park has recently seen an increase in people arriving by boat from Cuba. John Scott reporting.
Tesla sold a record 1.3 million vehicles last year, but that number falls short of Elon Musk's pledge to grow the company's sales by 50% nearly every year. A 2022 figure tops a prior record, 936,000 vehicles delivered in 2021. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
Oh, the deuce.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy New Year.
Yes.
Happy Tuesday.
Welcome to 2023.
Hope it's going well for you.
Uh-huh.
First day back to school for the kiddos.
Yep.
Kiddos. Teachers went back yesterday.
It was very nice to know that the kids were going back today.
You were happy, man.
It was, the whole winter break was tough for kids and for parents, admittedly. These last few days,
you're ready to get rid of it.
It was like, well, not even get rid of it. It was like a home stretch kind of situation.
Back
it was
to a
just
schedule.
I was trying to keep them as busy as I could so they wouldn't complain.
Yeah.
And they still complain. Doesn't matter how busy they are. Doesn't matter how many activities I cram into the day.
I think that's the biggest difference between me growing up and kids today growing up. Mm-hmm. When I was their age growing up, I was told go play in the basement.
Yeah.
Go
100%.
And it was not my parents or grandmother or whoever's watching me's job to dictate my curriculum. It was almost like go down to the basement and play.
Now they have.
I'll call you up for lunch.
In fairness, they have time when they can go off in their rooms and play, or they've been going outside and playing with the kids in the park lately, which is, and that's fine. But it's almost always with supervision. It's almost all somebody's, and they know that I'm right there. I literally don't close my door all the way so they can, if anything happens, I can hear it. Go check on what's going on.
Yeah.
It's completely a departure from how it was for us growing up.
When the weather's not nasty, my grandmother after breakfast, because I'd get to, like, this is when my grandmother would watch me for a few years there. Really before my brother was old enough to, he was a baby at the, he was not around for the first part of it. He was a baby for the later part of it. And we're about 5 years apart. But anyway, my parents would drop me off at like 6, whatever it was in the morning while they go to work and do all their stuff. My grandmother would be like, gets up, I go in the living room, turn on the TV, watch cartoons or whatever. She goes back to bed till like 9 o'clock. And then she gets up, she fixed me my breakfast, and if there was other kids, they get cereal, I get my breakfast because I was spoiled. And then she'd send us outside. She'd put us in the backyard. She had a big fenced-in backyard, and she'd say, "Go outside," and we were out there until lunchtime. Then we come into lunch, we eat our sandwich and our pretzel rods, and then we're back outside, and we are out there until Mom and Dad pick us up at 4 or 5, whatever it was that they would pick us up. That's my day. Like during the summer, when on school was all that. Yeah, it wasn't, okay, we got to plan 60 things for our kids. Like, get your butt in the backyard and do stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. And I played in the dirt.
And look at us. We turned out fine.
All right, we played in the dirt. We had our games. We did all kind of stuff. I had a tire swing we destroyed. Sometimes we crawl over the neighbor's yard and get in trouble, and it's what we did.
Yeah. I'm an event planner more than anything else.
Yeah.
My whole day is planned around structured activities. Like, what are we going to do today?
Yeah.
Why does today have to be a thing? Oh, it always has to be a thing.
And you see those memes as, like, I see them all the time because, I guess because of my age and the things I look at. But I think that's true with everything, because even like as we get older, and we moved down to Southern Maryland, and I was a little more independent as far as older and things like that. And so same kind of deal. Then I wasn't relegated to the backyard. I was, I had the world was my oyster. Wherever I can get on my Huffy and get to, that's where we did. And we literally summers, 8 a.m. we'd get out and start meeting up, and we weren't back till parents had come in for the night.
Yeah.
That was just how it was.
Yeah.
And we'd be, Lord knows where. We'd be out playing Army in some field somewhere. We could be driving our bikes down to the Army-Navy store or 7-Eleven or down the tracks to the skate shop or whatever. It was...
I grew up in this little town in Oklahoma called Medill. It was population like, maybe 6,000-7,000. It was a real tiny town. So, me and my friends, some Saturdays we would eschew cartoons, and we would, jump on. My bike was the Flexor, so I would jump on the Flexor, and we just cruise around Medill. We just, did nonsense. We'd scrape up, like $1.50. I distinctly remember scraping up like $1.50 to go get a can of soda and a candy bar.
Yeah, we used to change out of mom's purse or whatever, couch cushions, whatever ways we could acquire funding. Pilfering kids for baseball cards, whatever we had to do. And we'd had our same. We had a 7-Eleven we used to hit. If we really wanted to be adventurous, there was a Wendy's.
Ooh.
And I'd get a Frosty, and that was a big deal.
That is a big deal.
Yeah. As I got a little older, then we would, of course, the Babalu's, I told you about that place. The Army-Navy store where we get our smoke bombs. They eventually put a KFC not too far from there.
It's so sad they closed the Army-Navy store down here, the surplus store.
I bought all my smoke bombs there.
Did they
my
just
World
run out of
War II
surplus?
canteens. I don't know. The people stopped caring about that. I don't know.
Maybe. We didn't, though. No, we're still here. We just got older, and we're expected to have gotten over it. We never did.
No,
Yeah.
I'd still buy smoke bombs if I get away with it.
Heck yeah.
Throw them in bushes with kids are playing.
By the way, and I know that once again, the people who need to hear this don't listen to the station, but I want to say a humongous thank you to everybody for unloading 16 clips into the sky on New Year's night.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, it was bad.
It was
like
a lot.
people heard what I said and said, all right, to spite him. I heard somebody, it sounded like somebody just took a break long enough to empty and then reload a full clip and then just go again.
Yeah. Like, I didn't hear any fireworks.
I heard a few.
All I heard was gunfire.
Now, I heard a few fireworks.
All I heard was gunfire.
But then
I hardly heard any fire.
The next morning, I heard more gunfire. I'm guessing in retaliation to the gunfire from the evening before.
They're finding a volley back the next night.
Yeah, they were like mad about what happened. And
all I know is there was a lot of ammo wasted on New Year's, and I hope to God nobody got hurt. I hope to God nobody got hurt.
Same.
That's a lot of lead thrown up in the air, and it's come down somewhere.
Yeah, I felt so bad for the police in Roswell and the sheriff's department in our area on
law
New Year's
enforcement.
night.
Yeah,
because wow, it was a lot.
I was hearing, it sounded like a war zone. Pow, 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 pow. Yeah, and I was like, wow. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for doing your thing and doing all, but that's just dumb.
Yeah,
it's just dumb. It's just, why are you dumb? If you're out in the middle of nowhere being dumb, then it's on you. So when you're in neighborhoods and everything else being dumb, that's 10 times worse.
If you're out in the middle of nowhere and you shoot straight into the sky and then leave, there's a good chance that it won't hit somebody. If you're in the middle of nowhere and you shoot like that, it's going to hit somebody. Even slightly besides straight up in the sky, it's probably going to hit somebody.
It's just, or hit something.
Those things fly for miles, unimpeded. Bullets.
Yeah. Even your lower calibers, like your 22s and all that, they go far away too. I mean, but anyway, the people, most 99% of us know these things are stupid.
Right.
It's that 1% that's very loud and very stupid.
Squeaky, the squeakiest of the wheels.
And no matter how many times you tell them, they're going to do it anyway.
Yep.
That's why I'm always been a proponent of just remove tags and let society work itself out with some of that stuff.
Bend the herd a bit.
I'm trying to save everybody, but some people, they don't want to be saved, and you just let them do their thing, and let's move on about our day.
We try.
I see it.
We did what we could.
At some point, the onus is on this person.
Good luck, everybody else.
Right. But anyway, I noticed that too. I was like, "Good Lord, this is just ridiculous."
It was excessive. I've heard it go. I've heard it happen in the past. It was more than I've ever heard.
Yeah.
On New Year's this year.
Yeah,
it was
you were
bad.
interrupting my letter, Kenny. It was making me mad. Let me give you the rundown. We probably need to get the interview going here. We're going to replay an interview we had with Jen and Lee from American Legion Post 61. They joined us at last week of the year here to kind of give us a recap and invite you to the next meeting, which is this Thursday. It'll be this Thursday. So even though I think we say next Thursday on there, it's this Thursday.
It's this Thursday.
So we'll play that interview for you here in just a bit. Before we do that, let's go ahead and take a gander at the weather. It's a whole lot of fair to Midland. That's kind of what we got, which, not complaining.
Yeah, I'll take it.
It's just a whole lot of fair to Midland. So here it is. Enjoy.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We may get a little bit of cloud cover for a few areas this morning, but turning sunny this afternoon, and it will be a lot cooler. Wind stays gusty, too, at 25 to 35 miles per hour, but we should have some sunshine through the rest of today, and we'll be in the mid-to-upper 50s. Clear and very windy overnight, mid-30s, and then tomorrow, not quite as windy, sunshine, and our afternoon high back up to 60.
Thank you, Steve. I forgot he cuts it short on this one. Currently 44 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 47%. Winds are calm at the moment, but that will change later today. Mostly sunny. Expect a high of 55. Winds will be out of the west 5 to 10 this morning. This afternoon, picking up 15 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 33 degrees. West winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunny, highs near 60 tomorrow. West winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tomorrow night with an overnight low of 29 degrees. Winds out of the northwest 5 to 10 miles per hour. Looking at the rest of the week, Thursday, mostly sunny and 61. West winds at around 5 miles per hour. Friday, mostly sunny and 68. And for the weekend, near 70 on Friday. And then cooler for the weekend. Saturday, highs near 60, 59 officially Saturday. Mostly sunny, 58 on Sunday. All right, it is 18 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to take a quick minute and a half break. And then on the other side, we're going to play our interview with American Legion Post 61. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Happy holidays and a happy new year from the Plateau family to yours. Give your whole home the gift of ultimate connectivity in 2023. For a limited time, receive a free Visa gift card when you sign up for a True Fiber internet plan from Plateau. Up to $250 for new True Gig customers. With Plateau's True Fiber internet, get unbelievable speed for streaming, gaming, working from home, and so much more. And for a limited time, new customers get a free Visa gift card. Learn more and sign up now at plateautel.com. Offers valid only for new customers within Roswell Fiber connected zones until January 16th, 2023.
If you need a Kubota that works and plays hard, stop looking. You'll find everything you need at Amigo Machinery. When it comes to tough Kubota tractors, mowers, construction equipment, and utility vehicles, all with low-rate financing, Amigo Machinery is your one-stop shop. We are passionately committed to providing our customers with the highest quality products, most innovative solutions, and services delivered with integrity and professionalism. Stop by Amigo Machinery in Roswell or see us online at amigo-machinery.com.
Eastern New Mexico University in Portales is proud to offer potential students the opportunity to attend ENMU tuition-free with the New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship. And now we are proud to announce the newly created Freshman Hound Housing Room Grant, which will allow students the opportunity to receive up to $3,000 per year off their housing costs when living on the ENMU campus. For more information on how ENMU is making higher education more affordable for you and your family members, visit enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University. Student success. That's what we're about.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Men are 6 times more likely to be struck by lightning than women. That's because men are 6 times more likely to wear a tinfoil hat in a thunderstorm. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 15 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in the studio this morning from American Legion Post 61 family, Legionnaire Commander Lee and Jen, our auxiliary president, back with us as well. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Hi. Merry Christmas, or post-Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Indeed.
How was the holidays for you guys?
I would say it was pretty good. I had family come in from out of town.
Nice.
Yep, it was pretty awesome.
So you hosted?
I did. My parents came from California, and then my sister, who's deployed in Italy, she flew back to the U.S. and visited for a little while. So
where's she at in Italy?
Naples.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. I spent 5 months at Aviano.
Very nice.
In northern Italy.
Mm-hmm.
Always seemed longer.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, it was the first month it was slow, and we weren't doing. And then we started bombing Milosevic, and that's when it got busy. So
I would imagine time flew then. Yeah.
Yeah, but I did get to see Venice before I had to, work.
Well, that's someplace I'd be interested to see before it sinks completely.
Yeah. I went there and had a bunch of birds land on me, ate some Italian seafood, and
Birds landing on you?
Canoes.
Yeah, and gondolas and all that stuff.
Oh,
so,
okay.
yeah. But for folks not familiar, American Legion Post 61 joins us each month and gives us an update on what's going on. They'd love to invite people to come to their meetings next Thursday. 1 week from tomorrow will be the.
Well, don't forget we're meeting tomorrow to create charity bears.
Tomorrow night we're going to have a group doing the charity bears.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to come out and talk and meet. Come on out tomorrow night. But our actual official Legionnaire meeting will be the first Thursday of the month.
Right. Yeah, the business meeting is then.
6 p.m. At First United Methodist Church. And we'd love to have you come and visit and learn more about what we do and our auxiliary and all of our branches, Sons and our Legionnaire.
Meet on the first Thursdays now.
Yep. So 6 p.m. But and I know our American Legion Post, we focus kind of our stuff on children. That's kind of our main. We do a lot of like the charity bears for our law enforcement officials and all that to give out at scenes and things. We support scouts. We sponsor scouting, scout troop. Memory Lawn Cemetery is one of our pet projects. We have a group of folks that have done a lot of work to maintain and get that back to being a place where people want to visit, and
and they've done a really good job.
Yeah,
It's
they've done
looking pretty good
amazing
out there.
work out there. It's night
and
and day
the
different.
proprietors just send us a check for some money.
Good. Good deal. Yeah, they've been really well working with us and doing so. That's kind of our tentpole passion project. Scholarships as well. We also do scholarships.
Oh
too,
yeah, well
so.
those will be cranking up here in about 2 months.
Yeah. So matter of fact, we'll keep you up to date. But if you go to our website, which is roswelllegion.org, you go there, you can learn more about our scholarships and everything there. And
I
you'll
do
see
believe there will be 2 scholarships for the
spring semester.
Yeah. At $2,500 each. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And then you can see all of the qualifications. You must be a veteran or family.
Veteran connected.
Yeah,
in
veteran
some way.
connected. Veteran adjacent, I guess you'd say.
Veteran adjacent.
Basically, if you would qualify for membership, you don't have to join, but we'd love it if you would.
Sure.
You qualify for the scholarship.
Yeah. And then obviously, our is we want to.
It does help your chances.
Sure. And then we also, ours are focused on people going into STEM-related career fields or first responder, those service type deals.
Yeah, and we do classify nurses as a form of first responder.
I would say so.
do.
Yeah,
doctors,
medical,
nurses.
anything medical or.
Well, that falls under STEM anyway.
Yeah,
you got all that sciencey stuff going on.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah, either way, you're
science.
covered.
Yeah, I just sent money to University of Pennsylvania for.
Oh, nice, for one of our scholarship winners.
Yeah.
Antonucci's kid.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Going to University of Pennsylvania, huh?
Yeah, apparently she's going to be a doctor too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good deal. Does she know her field of study? Just curious.
I don't remember
she'll be a
discussing
surgeon
it
or-
with him.
Yeah,
but
some-
it was
some
in
sort of-
there. It was in her packet, but I don't remember.
I always wonder, like, when people decide to be a doctor, do any of them, like, literally say, I want to be a proctologist, or they just end up there? I mean,
I'm guessing a lot of them end up there.
I remember talking to Antonucci. We asked him if he landed where he thought he was going to land, and he says not even close.
Yeah.
But he fell into it because
He wanted to be home with his
he wanted to
family.
be home with his family.
Sure. Well,
there's not too many 911 emergencies for podiatry, so
generally speaking, yeah. So, you don't want to do the emergency surgery type services stuff. Then you got those. But, yeah, each one. But I don't know. I was just kind of curious. I didn't know if some, like, those, the lesser, the doctors that do things that most people don't want nothing to do with, are people like, sign me up to be a doctor of that? Or are they kind of like, no, I wanted to be a primary care doctor. Now I'm a specialist as proctologist or whatever. But I'm just curious.
I don't know. Who knows? You'll have to ask them, I guess, if you ever need one.
I'm going to ask you.
I
some
just
of the
can't
doctors
imagine waking up in the morning and saying, I want to be a proctologist.
I can't either, but to each
Stranger
his own.
things have happened,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
to each their own. Do you thing? God bless you. I just don't know.
I want to be a sewage engineer. That's what I want to do. I want to take care of other people's crap. Yeah.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, they're very necessary. Without them, we'd be in a world of hurt.
But we're glad that it's awesome that
Yes,
that
we
they're
need those
doing.
people, and I'm sure that people choose those career paths
Sure.
eventually. But I doubt seriously you know.
Well, when you find out how
I'm
much
dreaming about being an astronaut. No, I want to be a wastewater plant manager.
Well, then they find out how much that the sewage water manager makes. and
Actually,
they're like,
one of the highest paid professions that I'm aware of is morticians, because a lot
Makes
of people
sense.
don't want to be around dead people, but
and
boy, you make a lot of money doing that.
Have you ever noticed though that everyone that's
People
a
are dying to
mortician's
get
got
in,
a warped sense of humor? Now, every one of
You'd
them
have to, I think.
a little off kilter, just a little bit.
A little different, yeah.
I mean, they're professional because they deal with public all the time, and they got to console, and so they've got the charismatic
I've
skills.
always found them to be a little stiff.
But hi-oh, here all week.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Although, never mind. I'm not going to tell the story. I'll tell it off air, but not on air. I was driving the other day, and I am going to tell it.
Okay.
So I was driving the other day, and I noticed I was driving south. I was seeing a smokestack come up, and I was seeing the smoke, and I'm like, "Oh, where's it? Is that a fire?" And as I'm getting closer, I realized it's the big funeral home. I'm pretty sure they were cremating, and it was just like, but I don't know if they had a heavy caseload. I don't know, but it seemed like a lot of smoke coming out. That's all.
It was looking like Auschwitz. Huh?
Just for a minute there, it was just one of those things. I'm driving. I'm like, oh, I wonder what's all. Oh,
Yeah.
That's a little morbid. All right.
Just having a little barbecue.
Yeah. But, yeah, I couldn't do that job. No way.
No. But
Takes
hats
a
off
certain
to those
breed.
that can, because it is very necessary.
Is that technically STEM, mortician? I mean, right? It kind of is. It's science.
I don't know.
You know.
But either way, to pull it back to the American Legion, we do funeral assistance for those that need it. So we can tie it back to the American Legion.
Yeah, we do help.
We don't actually throw the switch or do the other thing.
No, goodness.
But
No, but we'll help your family get the military honors that they deserve. And,
absolutely.
And find the DD-214 so the family can get the benefits they need. And
absolutely. We do, yeah. If you've got veterans in need and all that, that's what we do.
Honestly.
Y'all wanted me to tell the story. Y'all saw y'all's face.
Yeah.
He takes very little prompting, doesn't he?
Well, yeah, I don't need much prompting, but absolutely. And here's the thing too: if maybe you as a maybe you're not a veteran but maybe you qualify as a son. Maybe if your parents, your father was served in military honorably, then you can qualify as a son of the American Legion.
Or your grandfather.
Or your grandfather,
yeah.
absolutely.
The descendants of.
Just a little safety tip. If you have your DD-214 or you don't have it now and you're still alive, it would be best to fill out an SF-180 and get it.
Yes.
And then one of the simplest things you can do is take that document down to the county courthouse and have it registered.
And that's a lot easier.
The problem comes from, if you have a death in the family, especially if it's a veteran, it can take forever to get the DD-214. So you can't qualify for a lot of the services and things that you deserve just because you don't have that documentation. That documentation is probably one of the most important records available to you. And if you preserve it or file it or whatever, it's a lot easier for your family to get a hold of it when the time comes.
Yeah, the smart move, really, what to do is take your original, if you've got it, make several copies, keep those copies in a safe place in your home.
Absolutely.
Take the original, put it somewhere different.
Like a safety deposit box
somewhere off-site.
What have you.
And that's probably that's a pretty good way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that way, if you need a DD-214 for anything, you go to the DMV or whatever. You got a few just laying around there at the house.
Well, even to qualify for the American Legion, you're supposed to show a DD-214, and a lot of times we'll scan it in and we'll keep it on file. So for our members, if there's ever a problem, we have that thing right now.
So that's great. So another perk of being a
we
Legionnaire?
can get it to, Carlos, we can get it to one of the military branches or whatever if they're going to send out a detail, or you want a flyby, or you want, whatever. I mean, the Marines are the nicest. They come out with a flag and a detail, and they take care of everything. That's a one-call deal. I email your DD-214 to them, and boy, they're ready to go almost 24 hours later.
That's
the other
a Marine
branches of
mindset,
service takes about 2 or 3 weeks. So, and not every funeral home in town knows what to do, or if they do know what to do, some of them aren't doing it. So the reality is a lot of times you have to contact outside agencies, the VFW, American Legion, Purple Heart people, whatever, so we can get the ball rolling for these services and stuff.
It does help when you have organizations like the American Legion kind of in your corner doing some of the legwork with you or for you, and it tends to move the process up a little bit. That tends to help.
But you need your DD-214 to get VA services. You need it to
can't get your foot in the door without it.
You can't get a home loan through the VA without it. You can't, all the things that you deserve, that you qualify for. And by the way, there are different definitions of veteran. The federal definition, so for VA benefits, et cetera, you have to have served 180 days continuous honorably.
You have to do a short tour.
You have to do at least 6 months to qualify. In the state of New Mexico, there's a lot of benefits that you qualify for as long as you've been in for 90 days.
Okay.
But that's by constitutional statute.
Gotcha.
Here. And you also need to remember that National Guard is not active duty. Okay. That falls under workman's compensation. Now, if you were ever active, in other words, you decided to activate yourself and then you got deployed, as long as you were deployed for more than 180 days, then you qualify in both worlds.
Gotcha.
Okay. So you have to understand that to get veterans benefits, you have to be an active participant in this. I mean, it's not, they just don't hand it out.
Sure. You got to go seek it. You got to go and make phone calls and push buttons and do everything you can.
And sometimes it takes some time.
It does.
We will help you as much as possible, but the bottom line, without that,
it's a gauntlet.
DD-214,
yes,
you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, it is. So please, so if you've lost it or do not have it, start the process of getting that back.
I hate to tell you, it takes about 10 months to get a duplicate DD-214.
It's not easy. That's why. I don't know.
And it's free. Just go online, fill out the form, and you get it in 10 months, but just get it.
And to be honest, I'm not trying to judge, I'm not anything, but every single person, when you were mustered out of the service, whatever branch, whatever time it was, I know for a fact one of the things they told you when they hand you that DD-214 is whatever you do not lose this.
Yeah.
Do not. Yeah, I know they gave you
famous
the spiel.
last words.
Yeah, because it's next to impossible to get it replaced if you don't. And a matter of fact, they told me the exact same thing you'd mentioned earlier. Go down to your local clerk's office and submit it there, so it's in essence a public document.
When I got out of the service, there was a checkbox on there that you could say, "Please send a copy of this to my local American Legion."
Oh, nice.
And they did do that for me, and that's what kind of got the ball
I don't recall
rolling.
seeing that for mine, but I'm not saying it didn't exist.
You got out a little later than I did.
Yeah.
But there was a checkbox on there for that. I don't know if it still exists, but it's just another methodology of making sure that document is available.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah. This is that thing when they were browbeating at India back then, and this is the reason why. So
Right. And bear in mind, people that served like in World War II and stuff like that, they have 215s or they have certificates of service. They didn't start the 214 until a little after World War II. So bear that in mind too. So if your grandfather, father, or whatever served in World War I, World War II, you're going to have different documentation.
Sure.
Yeah. And the next of kin can request those. So even if your veteran has already passed, the next of kin can request it so that they can not only provide services, but have that little piece of family history. Because it denotes all of the stuff that they did while they were in the service.
Absolutely.
Places they were deployed,
Their
any
medals,
ribbons or medals.
The standard form 180 is what it's called. You fill out an SF 180, and you can go to my website, roswelllegion.org. On the right-hand side, it says Get Your DD-214. Click on that. It will take you to the official records website. Okay, and as a next of kin, a descendant, you or a wife or spouse, you can request that through the SF-180 process. As I said, takes about 10 months, so do it today.
Sure.
You know.
But you know, it would behoove you to, if you don't have it on hand, because at some point, even if it's not anytime soon, you're going to need to do that to
and
take
for
advantage.
some of us, it gets updated. So if posthumous to your service, I'm not meaning you're dead, but after you get out,
right?
Your unit citation or whatever, they will appear on that. Now, I did mine, but I knew it wouldn't be on there anyway, but it wasn't. So, but I requested mine just to see how long it took. 10 months.
10 months. So.
Don't wait until you need it.
Exactly, because it might be a year before you get it.
Right. That's right.
But that being said, if you need help with that stuff, again, reach out to our Legion. We'll be happy to get you in
And like
touch
the
with
commander
people
was saying, the link for it is on roswelllegion.org.
Yeah, and you'll find it there. And then, of course, if you want to learn more about the scholarships or, of course, what our family does and things, you can read all of that there, too.
For sure.
So if I could pivot for a second.
Sure.
We did really well on wreaths across America.
We did. It was wonderful.
We had about 180 wreaths this year,
Great.
which our goal was 200. So
we got close.
Yeah, that was close. And we were able to get that all deployed and stuff. Now, the scouts were unable to join us, unfortunately, because a lot of them had plans out of town. And plus, it was freezing.
That was the
morning.
weekend. It was Arctic, yeah.
Yeah, but we got we had a nice group come out, the Patriot Guard.
Oh, yes.
We had one member come out from Post 28, had a few other volunteers that came by. So we got them all deployed.
All
within,
180 were dispersed and distributed to
Yeah,
graves.
we put one down at the courthouse lawn, and we put all the specialty ones, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Merchant Marines, Coast Guard.
Space Force.
They had one
for the Space
and,
Force.
POW MIA, we put those down at McBride.
I'm hoping to say we don't have any Space Force
Not yet.
casualties.
I'm hoping not yet because we're still very new there.
Yeah, I don't,
I do know Biden moved it from Peterson Air Force Base to Huntsville, Alabama. But
really?
I don't know why, but
NASA maybe? Because NASA's on.
Well, NASA has something there too.
Yeah, that's a big area in Huntsville for NASA too, isn't that where Space Camp is and all that stuff?
Yeah,
Could be. I don't know. I've never been there.
Yeah. So that I have no idea. I don't. Then when I also think Alabama, all that, I think of college football. So I don't know.
Gators and Hurricanes.
Yeah. But I think they do. I think NASA's got a big presence.
I suppose.
Roll Tide. Yeah.
I don't know.
Crimson Tide.
Yes. Roll Tide.
Whatever.
That's what they say. It's Crimson Tide, but they say Roll Tide.
I don't know why.
I don't know. I don't go to Alabama. I don't
have to ask. What are they? Alabamians?
I think so. I've never been to Alabama. I've never been that area. I'm not
I think
familiar
I've
with it at
driven
all.
through there, but
Never been
to Alabama a few times.
Would love to. I've just never been.
I've even been to speakeasies in
Really?
Alabama.
Well,
I've never been to
fun.
Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi. I've never been to that.
You didn't go to Keesler?
No, never been to Keesler.
Oh,
no.
Geez. Oh, you really didn't miss out on it. Back when I went to Keesler, the Gulf was dirty. They had tires and garbage and all that.
Yeah,
I understand
they
they went
cleaned
through and cleaned it all up and put casinos there. So.
Now, when I went stateside, they sent me to places like Boise, Idaho, and
Oh, fun.
Las
Did
Vegas.
Did you wear a pink carnation?
No, I did not. I did go. Well, I was there for 2 weeks for a red flag, and so I went to like motocross and hockey games, and
I'm sorry.
it was a nice little town. Actually,
sorry.
Boise, Idaho. Huh?
Yeah, it wasn't a bad little town. I had a good 2 weeks there.
Of course, the time I chose to go to Alberta, that was the weekend of celebration of Gretzky. So that was like nuts. But picking the wrong times of year to go to certain places.
I heard more people, speaking of cold in Canada, not this in Canada, but close enough. I had more people love. I had several people in my shop that came from Minot, North Dakota, and every single one of them loved that assignment. They were like, "I'd go back in a heartbeat."
Really?
Pat Goff was at Minot.
Shoot, why not Minot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The people love it. You don't think so,
Dakota,
but
though.
everyone I know that spent time in Minot, they say it was one of their top 5 places to serve.
Yeah.
They love it.
I consider myself extremely lucky to never have had to go to Minot.
Yeah, me either. Me either.
I don't know. That sounds very cold to me.
January is a pretty down time for us at the American Legion.
Sure.
We really don't do much at all.
It's slow everywhere,
That's
but
because the last
including
several
us
months
for
have been
American
nuts.
Legion.
But that's kind of post 61's downtime is January. But
We still meet to do the bears
we
and the
do
sewing
do
and
that
stuff.
and we do our meeting, but
Yep.
that's about it. February, however, at the end of the month is when we kind of crank back up again. We will be having a 4 chaplains.
Yeah, that'll
on
be
the
in
last
February.
Sunday of February, and that's
Think
something
Super
to
Bowl
see.
keeps getting in our way with that, but we'll figure it out.
Well, that's why we chose to do it on the last Saturday.
It's supposed to be the first, but we
Now,
know
in
that
theory,
y'all
I'll
are going to
have
be
some
watching football.
ads done up for that, but
Yeah. And if you've never seen a 4 chaplain ceremony, know the story. We've talked about it several times on here, and we'll tell you again as we get closer to the event.
Sure.
It's a very moving ceremony. I love the story, and I think I think every American should hear that story because it's part of who we are, and it encompasses exactly why we are and what we do.
It is,
and that
yep.
story does all of that. So.
I know you did a rerun last hour for Roswell Refuge.
Yeah.
With, American Legion Post 61 donated a bunch of turkeys to them.
Great. They could use every little
stuff
bit
too. So
yeah.
I just want to say, keep Roswell reference in mind.
Yeah, I know. Like I said in that interview, they're looking for like toiletries and bedding and towels and linens.
Yeah, we've got
like
some
that.
donations with their names on it. We just got to get it to them.
Awesome. Yeah. Speaking of donations, like you said, you guys are back to making the bears here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How are we on fabric and material? Could we use more
Well, we're
donations
running
of that
low
stuff?
on that, but we've got enough for the season, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got
but if
lots of
someone wants to
stuffing.
donate some stuffing or
Yeah.
fabric or
What we're really short on is help.
bodies, warm bodies,
people
Yeah.
to cut out,
cut and paste and
cut,
sew and
put
all
little
that.
dots
Yeah,
on the eyes.
I can only stuff a bear so fast, so I could use some help.
Okay, so come join tomorrow. Come out tomorrow. What time do y'all get going on?
6 o'clock.
Yeah,
6
6
p.m.
o'clock is usually about when sewing starts.
If you
but
want to
every-
eat, come 5:30.
Yeah,
Bring your own meal.
Right. We used to do potlucks, but with all the allergies out there, we figured it was easier just to bring your own.
Yeah, of course. One of these, y'all just do them on Wednesdays and then go eat at the church and then go to.
Yeah, we've done that before.
I know that Lizzie had indicated we have a certain number of bears that we're ready to drop off. I think we're going to do it today.
Okay.
His burn rate in the winter time is about 15 a month.
Thereabouts, yeah.
Because with it cold and everybody trapped inside, nobody likes each other. They punch each other. So.
More domestic violence.
Yeah.
More.
It's really
yeah,
sad.
It is very sad. I would love it to where they say, no, we hardly have to give these bears away, but unfortunately,
Well, in the
that's not
summer, he
case.
says 2-3, a month is all he needs. But November through about March,
When it's cold and
15
everybody's
a month.
inside, they get on everybody's
And then
nerves.
People,
so.
things happen, and mental health and everything
I know.
else that goes on, and the kids are at the end of the day are all the victims.
One thing about knowing the sheriff, I found out about all these cyclical things, and a lot of it's not really that good. So
Yeah.
I just never had that much insight until I had a friend that was a sheriff. So
Yeah, you don't realize what our law enforcement see on a day-in-day basis.
Well, I guess I knew. I just never really put it in.
Well, you don't think it's in your backyard. You think it's
Over there. It really is
somewhere
here.
else, and it's literally in your backyard.
And I don't know. I'm getting a little concerned about the proximity of gunfire these days. I mean, I'm hearing it like every few days now.
Yeah.
Again, 'tis the season.
Yeah,
It's
but
just-
if you want to be able to help, we can always use more felt. So like the soft fabric stuff because we're using it to make bellies and hearts and
So,
noses and all
if you got
kinds of
some
stuff.
want to donate felt, that would be a good thing. And of course, come out Thursday.
Yep.
If you'd love to help cut, if you can sew, great. But
Yeah,
if you don't have those
if you
skill
can sew,
sets,
please come.
you don't have the skill sets.
Being updated, we have 18 bears to give away today.
Yes.
All right. So 18 bears, that means 18 bears need to be made to replace them.
Right.
Well, pretty much. And you can sponsor them for $10 a piece.
Yeah, that's another way too. Is you can, if you have no skills, but like I can give you money, we'll take that too.
Well, we are running really low on donation right now on several fronts. We're running really low for memory lawn.
Okay. And we'll be picking up cut grass and all that.
Yeah, we're
before
trying
you
to
know
pad it now
So,
so we can
yeah.
afford the gas prices when the spring comes.
And we're going to need donations for all of our other programs and stuff like that coming up. Now, we did get a donation from Gomez for about, what was it, $1,200.
Yeah, $1,200.
But that was earmarked for Operation Comfort Warrior. So
Which is a really cool program.
Which is a great program, but that means we didn't see a dime.
It doesn't help with memory law.
Nothing.
Any
I mean,
other
nothing
projects.
stayed here.
And you can earmark as well too if
It's
you want to
true.
donate. Say, hey, but here's $100, but I want it to go to memory lawn, and we're like,
Right,
okay, no problem.
absolutely.
We
Or
can
the
do that.
Scouts or whatever.
Or Scouts or whatever your passion project that we happen to think is pretty cool too. So.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, one of the big things that we need to, we try to donate to, there's two primary donations that we try to do every year. One of them is for Fisher House. And if you don't know what Fisher House is, it's a building that's up at the VA up in Albuquerque. And if your veteran is undergoing treatment, the family can stay at the Fisher House at no cost.
Yeah, it's kind of like Ronald McDonald House for veterans.
It is.
For veterans and family, yeah.
We think of it that way.
We tend to fund that. We try to send, $500 or $1,000 every couple of, every quarter or something like that to make sure that they're fully funded for families and stuff. And the other one is Child Welfare Foundation.
Yep.
That is one of the big charities in the American Legion that it actually funds several different things because a lot of people can apply for grants from that. And so it really helps out children and youth.
Excellent.
Just children in general.
So, and yeah, we make donations to that through our posts, through donations we give and things like that too. So those are just some of the things we support.
And we also support local. I mean,
absolutely.
We did the
Roswell Refuge.
Yeah. We did the
Assurance Home.
Yeah, several others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you've done in years past other organizations too. It's just it's wherever the need's greatest at that particular moment, we tend to turn up and help out what we can do. So.
Right.
For sure.
But we would love to have more people be a part of that.
We could really use some more manpower. We only have a few that are in state and very active. So if you'd like to help us out, if you want to join and help your community, you have to be either a veteran, the spouse, or somehow related to the veteran.
Child of a veteran.
Yeah, the details are on our website, but it's a good
and any
organization.
veteran that,
however, if you just want to come help build charity bears.
Yeah, you don't have to be a member to do that.
We'll just come and hang out and be a bunch of social people doing social, helping people out.
We've had several people just drop by and start helping out.
Yeah.
It's a great thing. We love it. That's how things get done. But to be a Legionnaire, if you are a veteran that served honorably, pretty much since Pearl Harbor, December 7th, anybody that served in the military honorably since Pearl Harbor qualifies for the American Legion.
Yeah, they changed that a few years ago. So if you fell in the what we call the donut holes before, those are gone.
Those are gone.
You can join us.
Yeah.
Finally, we convinced them to do that.
Yeah. But and not to toot horns and things, but the American Legion is it's literally an act of Congress. It's formed by Congress. We now, granted, other organizations definitely have the ear of Congress and when it comes to veterans issues, but American Legion's kind of put there just for that very reason. So this is kind of nationally our main project too. So.
Right. Yep, the Legion and Auxiliary were chartered by Congress.
Yeah. So if you are passionate for veterans services, veterans needs, and helping veterans, we would love to have you come be with us. But don't forget, we also focus on children and community too. So we'll do everything we can for our veterans, but we also take that same passion with kids and some of our other pet projects here.
Yep.
So.
And like I was saying, if you want to join us, our membership is pretty reasonable. It's only $50 a year, which is less than $1 a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found out recently that across the country, there are American Legion posts that charge $75 a year now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gotta love inflation.
It's crazy.
And the Suns nationwide, the average is $50. Ours is only $25.
They're almost making it. Some of those are thinking, well, shoot, just get the lifetime and save the money at that point.
Well, they don't have a lifetime for the Suns yet, but they're working on it.
Yeah. But I mean, if they're charging $75 a year, that's when I'd consider maybe I just get a lifetime membership.
Well, actually, that's kind of backwards. What you should do is get the lifetime before it goes to $75 because the lifetime fee is based on the monthly or the annual.
So it'll go up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, right now,
I didn't know if they had just a regular
for
fee.
a lifetime for your age bracket is about $1,200.
Okay.
I mean, it is not cheap.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've considered it, but I just.
What if I don't plan on living too late? Like, I was like, I don't think I'm going to make it till 90.
That's the thing.
Get a discount?
I know, but it's based on 30 years of dues.
Okay, all right.
So.
Yeah, 30 years. I should be good, right?
Crazy. I mean, really serious.
Yeah, I'd probably do that.
But at least it's going towards good things. So I don't mind so much. It's a good thing. It helps people in need, and I'm good with that. So.
Yeah.
But join us tomorrow for the sewing and everything, 6 p.m. at First Net.
Well, you don't have to know how to sew. Trust me.
Yeah, you don't have
to. If you could operate a magic marker, you're good to go.
Or a pair of scissors.
You are qualified to help out.
That's right.
So perfect. Excellent. And of course, check out our website, roswelllegion.org, for more information about our post, scholarships, everything we were talking about here. And also, we do have our American Legion Post 61 Facebook page. If you want to reach out to us that way, we'll get that information. If you have any questions or needs, if you're or if you're a veteran and you're looking for information, need help, you're like, hey, I've been trying to do this, don't know where to turn. reach out to us. We'll put you in touch with the people that can help you do that. That's
for sure
what we do. Did we get it all?
Well, for now, yeah.
For now.
For now.
We ain't got much going on. So,
but there's a lot to talk about, even though there's not much going on.
Always.
It is, but awesome. Well, guys, Happy New Year. Thank you guys for joining us here. We'll see you in 2023.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Ready to talk about, of course, our next one, we'll be talking mostly about Fort Chaplains because it'll be right around that time to get people
that'll be
up for that. So do me a favor, everyone. Just Google Fort Chaplain ceremony, Fort Chaplain story. Do your Google search and read up on the story if you're not familiar with it. I think you'll.
The USAT Dorchester.
Yes, you can type any of that. But if you just type in Fort Chaplains, that'll get you where you need to go.
Yeah, that's true.
So, well, thank you guys. Appreciate it. We'll see you next
Mike.
time. Search and read up on the story if you're not familiar with it. I think you'll.
The USAT Dorchester.
Yes, you can type any of that. But if you just type in Fort Chaplains, that'll get you where you need to go.
That's true.
So, well, thank you guys. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
With your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Sorello. Carlsbad Mayor Dale Janway is taking a look back on 2022. In his final letter to the Community of the Year, Janway said one of the biggest accomplishments was the enhancements to the Carlsbad Beach area, which include new soccer goals, pickleball and volleyball courts, and an additional picnic area with shade structures. Janway says there's even more on the horizon, which includes development of a mini golf course. Roswell police are investigating a shooting Friday night that left one person dead at the Leisure Inn, 2700 West 2nd Street. 27-year-old Anthony McCullough was arrested the following morning after admitting to police that he shot 32-year-old Adam Trujillo. McCullough reportedly told police that the shooting happened after an argument, but he claims Trujillo threatened him first. A statement from Roswell police says McCullough performed CPR on Trujillo, but the man never recovered. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We may get a little bit of cloud cover for a few areas this morning, but turning sunny this afternoon, and it will be a lot cooler. Wind stays gusty, too, at 25 to 35 miles per hour, but we should have some sunshine through the rest of today, and we'll be in the mid-to-upper 50s. Clear and very windy overnight, mid-30s, and then tomorrow, not quite as windy, sunshine, and our afternoon high back up to 60.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. A problem with a critical air traffic control system that caused flight delays at major airports in Florida on Monday has been fixed. That's according to the Federal Aviation Administration. A problem with the functioning of a system used to control air traffic prompted the FAA on Monday afternoon to issue a so-called ground stop order, slowing traffic into Florida airports. Tesla reports selling a record 1.3 million vehicles last year, but the number fell short of CEO Elon Musk's pledge to grow the company's sales by 50% nearly every year. The 2022 figure topped the prior record of 936,000 vehicles delivered in 2021. Chinese manufacturing contracted for a third consecutive month in December, in the biggest drop since early 2020, as the country battles a nationwide COVID-19 surge after suddenly easing health and safety epidemic measures. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing here, and I can tell you it's not always easy being a female in a male-dominated business like roofing. I remember one time I was at a meeting to bid on the roof for a local college, and it was me and 13 men. Well, I won that bid, and I'd like to win your business too. My dad was a contractor, and I've been around building and roofing my whole life. I'm licensed and bonded, and I've forgotten more about roofing than most roofers ever knew in the first place. But what really sets Trustmark apart is an obsessive attention to detail that ensures that everything goes smoothly the first time. I promise we will treat you right with respect and we will make you happy. So yeah, it might be a bit odd for a woman to own a roofing company, but give us a try. Let us give you an estimate for your roof. I think you'll be glad you called. For all your roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Here to help you breathe easy. That's what you can expect from Artesia General Hospital's cardiopulmonary and respiratory therapy team, both literally and figuratively. From innovative treatments for lung cancer and COVID-19 to management for everyday breathing problems like asthma and bronchitis, our care for acute and chronic conditions is unmatched in Southeast New Mexico, and the compassion of our caregivers offers peace of mind with each visit. Get the help you need for chronic respiratory conditions. Call 575-748-3333 or visit artesiageneral.com/respiratory.
So you think drinking alcohol can't hurt you? It'll mess you up big time. Say adios to large chunks of your brain. Major damage is already being done. Other parts of your body are getting wrecked too. Forget about sports, forget about school, forget about doing much of anything. Underage drinking freaks out your body, messes up your life.
Sponsored by the NMDOT. There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. There's just one place where a team is more than a group of individual agendas. It's a catalyst for demonstrating the potential of the collaborative spirit. There's just one place where players, coaches, and fans experience the exhilaration that happens when an entire community rallies behind the school team. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. In addition, high school sports help young people in New Mexico develop the discipline and confidence they need to be leaders in life, even as they unite communities like nothing else. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the New Mexico Activities Association and the New Mexico Athletic Directors Association.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. You burn more calories sleeping than you do watching television. For the ultimate workout, fall asleep in front of the TV. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. We are closing in on 9 o'clock. Stay tuned next hour. Don't have a guest scheduled, so we're going to chit-chat next hour, talking about weekends, New Year's, stuff in the news, all that good stuff, whatever topics kind of float to the top. So we'll chit-chat next hour. Don't forget, if you missed any of our interviews or anything and you want to catch one that you missed a part of, or if you wanted to see it and just didn't get a chance to, you can always go to ksvptv.com, click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel, and you'll find all of our videos there for you at your leisure. You can also go to our Facebook page and do a little scrolling and find them there too. All right, it is closing in on 9 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. He has made some big concessions, but will they be enough for Congressman Kevin McCarthy to get the 218 votes he needs to be the next Speaker of the House? That's the question as the 118th Congress convenes about an hour from now. Republicans will be in control of the House. Not all of McCarthy's GOP colleagues support him for the Speaker's post.
The new Congress opens with House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy clinging to his political future with the potential to become the first nominee for Speaker in 100 years to fail to win initial support from his own colleagues at a high-stakes vote for the gavel. McCarthy's in line to replace Speaker Nancy Pelosi, but heads into the vote with no guarantee of success. The California Republican faces entrenched detractors from within his own ranks. Despite attempts to win them over, even with an endorsement from former President Trump, McCarthy's still looking for votes.
Correspondent Bernie Bennett covering the House of Representatives. Correspondent Bob Agnew following the upper house of Congress.
The 118th Congress will feature a Senate with a larger advantage for Democrats, again under the watchful eye of Majority Leader Charles Schumer of New York. They enjoy a 51-49 advantage over Republicans, with a caucus of 48 Democrats and 3 independents, all of whom caucus with the Democrats. Upon his swearing-in, Republican leader Mitch McConnell becomes the longest-serving party leader in the history of the Senate. Bob Agnew, Capitol Hill.
It shocked players from both teams, brought some of his teammates to tears. Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin collapsed on the field last night as the Bills were playing the Bengals in Cincinnati. He had suffered cardiac arrest. CPR followed. Hamlin rushed to the hospital, where at last word he was in critical condition. Parts of the South could see more powerful storms today. High winds, even tornadoes, are a concern. Stocks in the red now on Wall Street, but not by much. The S&P is down 7 points. The Dow's off 16. The NASDAQ, 50 points lower. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Lee Dombeck here from Key City Capital. As a practicing CPA for nearly 30 years, I have found that 80% of your ability to grow your wealth is dependent upon two factors: taxes and investment performance. At Key City Capital, we improve investment performance by diversifying capital into off-market investment opportunities in passive rental real estate and alternatives like asset-backed lending. We recover dollars that clients unnecessarily pay in the form of income taxes, creating a lifetime annuity of savings. We are a sponsor of passive, affordable single and multifamily residential rental investments, which are located in Sunbelt landlord-friendly states. These investments are the top choices in a rising interest rate and inflationary environment. They represent a store of value, protecting your capital from market volatility. Learn how we at Key City Capital can help you ultimately grow your wealth rapidly. Connect with me at keycitycapital.com or give me a call at 817-912-1569.
An Israeli cabinet minister has visited a Flashpoint Jerusalem holy site for the first time since taking office in Prime Minister Netanyahu's new government last week.
This is the most deeply contested site in Jerusalem. It's known as Haram al-Sharif, and then Temple Mount, as it's known to Jews, is the site where they believe two biblical temples stood. At the moment, Jews cannot pray openly at the site, although they are allowed to visit under police escort. And Itamar Ben-Gvir, who has just become the National Security Minister, has long pledged to try to change what is known as the status quo.
The BBC's Yolanda Nell. Russia is preparing to step up its attacks on Ukraine using Iranian-made exploding drones. That's according to Ukrainian President Zelensky. This as Moscow looks for ways to keep up the pressure on civilians in Ukraine. News and analysis at townhall.com. The Drug Enforcement Administration is concerned that aggressive marketing by telehealth companies may be contributing to excessive ADHD prescriptions.
A DEA investigation into several companies comes as prescriptions for Adderall have doubled within a year's time. The DEA is legally required to set production quotas each year for ingredients in Schedule II drugs. According to the Wall Street Journal, the DEA announced in December that it would not permit any increase in the production of pharmaceutical ingredients used to make Adderall and other stimulants for ADHD treatment in 2023. The DEA's decision to limit production, along with the doubling of Adderall prescriptions, has resulted in a shortage of Adderall, which was first reported in October. Tasha Stevens reporting.
Beijing is blasting COVID-19 testing requirements that are being imposed on passengers from China and is also threatening countermeasures against those countries involved. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday. Happy New Year.
Right. Welcome to the second day of the rest of your life, third day of 2023.
Yep. And it's already busy. A lot going on and lots happening and out in the world. Of course, on Twitter, most people are talking about the Bills game last night and the safety that collapsed on the field there.
In fairness.
And they postponed the game.
this is probably the most that people have talked about the Bills in a really long time.
Yeah, and of course the controversy with the vaccine and all that.
Sure.
Many people are pointing to that, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it's way too early to speculate. That's all I'm saying. You know, people are ready. Well, what could it be? What? I get you, but there's too many things it could be for you to just point that out.
Right.
Without it, because at this point, until there's conclusive proof, you're doing nothing but conflicting the problem.
I haven't seen. Are they just saying that it's because he took the vaccine?
Well, there is a sect of people that are saying that, and along with because there's been a few soccer players, World Cup and over in Europe, and that have also collapsed. And younger players, 20s, 30s, collapsing on the field as well too. Same kind of scenario. So, I mean, there's some smoke, but I gotta be honest. These professional athletes put so much stuff in their bodies. I mean, who knows?
It's true.
I mean, who knows? I don't. And I'm not disagreeing with people. I'm just saying there's smoke, but it's too early to make those conclusions without creating more.
That's like it's essentially exactly. It's problematic. It's essentially like saying, well, these three people all ate rye bread. Clearly, it's the rye bread.
Yeah, and we live in a world of extremes now. And people tell you either do this or it's curtains, or you know what I mean. It's extremism thinking.
Yep.
Do this or you die. Do this or you're the enemy. Do this or you're that. And life really isn't like that. And the more you fight for your one thing, the more you're going to learn that lesson. And I'm not saying fight for things you think are right. You absolutely should.
Right.
But there is a choice between us and them sometimes. And you need to not apply that logic to every decision you make in your life sometimes. There is levels in between of these things, and you need to consider
there's creamy middles. It doesn't always have to be extremes.
And that being said, yes, it does look funny that all these relatively, what I'm assuming are healthy people dropping dead in major spotlights like this. But anyway, we'll see. We'll just wait and see at this point, and that's for Twitter, because Twitter's evil. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. If you want to see the cesspool of humanity, go on Twitter. I think it's the worst of all. Now, granted, I don't hang out on TikTok or is what's the one with the 15 seconds and then they're gone? Is that still a thing?
Not really. No. Well, I mean, the TikToks, the short videos, whatever, they're usually between 1 and 3 minutes, I think is the max.
What was the one that you did, like the little 10-second one?
That was Vine. It was 6.
Okay. But there was another one, too.
I don't recall one between the two.
Not Instagram or...
Well, Instagram Stories.
It was a big one.
Instagram Stories, I think, eventually adopted that same model, just the 1 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, it was a big one a couple years ago with the youngins. Old people didn't get onto it. Snapchat. I think that's the one I'm thinking of. Snapchat. Is that still a thing?
It is, yeah. Is that still a thing?
Well, that's the way
I'm old. Well, honestly, that's some of my friends. That's the only way I can communicate with them.
Is Snapchat?
Like they don't have a phone number that they give out. Really, they do, but they don't give it out.
That's their problem.
And so it's like we'll talk via Snapchat, and those are great because those messages disappear after 24 hours.
Yeah.
So unless you save them.
Yeah. If you're up to shenanigans, and that's great for you. If you act honest and be smart, you don't have to worry about stuff like that.
Also, it tells the other person when you take a screenshot, just so you know. Nobody told me that.
Yeah, very creepy.
In. Shut up.
Very creepy.
Shut up. Judge not, lest ye be judged, winners.
I'm an open book.
I'm an open face sandwich over here.
Right. What you see is what you get, Mike. All the scars and everything. You get it all. I'm honest to a fault sometimes. It has got me in trouble more than I've cared to, because I say things I'm like, I should have been a little more tactful with that.
I probably should have swung so hard.
It's verbal judo. I'm one that just I say things and then I can't put that back in the bottle, and I
stand in the bathroom afterwards like, probably shouldn't have wished cancer upon their kid.
Yeah. I mean, that's my problem. But, and sometimes, in spite of people, I don't know how many times I get my wife mad at me because she has an issue or something. I'm like, well, you shouldn't have done that, shouldn't you? She's just like a little bit of sympathy. I'm like, how about a little less idiocy? Thank you.
Thanks, Captain Hindsight.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm short when
We're
it comes
not all
to,
thinking of all possible scenarios at all points in time.
Well, that's my fault. I tend to be a little short with people that, to me, looks like common sense, and they don't. And they just don't get it. I'm like, will you please pull your head out of your collective butt and look what you're doing right here? Come on. Think just for a second.
Sure.
And I don't do that always in the nicest possible way.
Collective butt isn't a term that gets tossed around a lot. Not enough, at least.
That's my shortcoming, but I work on it. Some days I'm good at it, some days not so much. But, anyway, happy Tuesday. Welcome to it. I watched the first 3 episodes of Letterkenny. They're pretty good. I laughed. They're atypical Letterkenny. It is what it is.
Right. And that's you're not going in expecting like story arcs and character development. It's a quick dopamine hit.
But the problem with that show is it's a devoid show as far as not really anything weighty. But you have to pay attention because the lines come at you fast and furious. And if you're not paying attention, you miss half the show.
Which is the beauty of it because that's in the rewatch.
Yeah.
And when you go back and you watch it a second, third, time, whatever, you're seeing hearing new lines that you never heard before.
Yeah.
New snaps from Shoresy that you never heard before. New, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what I love about a show like Letterkenny is and I feel like maybe they're doing this more in the later seasons since Hulu took it over, but their breaks, like their commercial, like in between their commercial breaks, are set up as such so that it feels like you could take that bit and then just upload it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it could be a standalone bit.
I can see that.
The whole bit about Destroy Your December.
Yeah.
That was going around real viral last month.
They package it so you can cut it up in nice little memes later.
Hammer on it, then you sleep. You wake up, well, then you hammer on it, and then you go to sleep. So on and so forth for 24 hours. Rinse and repeats.
Yeah, but and you've watched the first couple too, right?
I've seen the first one.
The first one.
The very first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen the first 3. They're pretty good. So I got 4 or 5 left. I don't remember how many are in 7 usually.
Yeah, I think it's like 7 or 8.
Yeah. So although last season they did me where they gave you the first 6, and then like 2 months later, the 7th episode showed up.
Oh, that's right, huh?
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Did you watch the 7th episode?
Yeah, because it was like a I think it was topical, wasn't it? Was it a holiday episode?
I want to say it was. It was their usually the 7th episode is a holiday themed,
right,
of some kind, some way, shape, something related to the show. But anyway, it's a good little watch if you have sense of humor like Sean and I.
Yeah.
You probably would get a kick out of it. It's on Hulu. So, and the new season just cropped up, but you got like
now
12,
now 11 seasons.
Yeah, you got like 11 seasons now. So if you've never watched it, you got, and they're short seasons. They're 30-minute shows. It's like 7 episodes per season. So you can knock it out in a weekend if you're really dedicated.
Yeah.
So,
just be ready to sit there and listen because they cut, like I said, lines come at you real fast.
It is
fast and furious.
Well, that's just it. It's almost a sensory overload to watch the entire series in one setting.
Yeah.
That would be, that's a lot of jokes to take in. That's a lot of content to wrap your head around.
I remember the first time I saw the movie Across the Universe. Now, there's a correlation to go with me. First time I ever saw the movie Across the Universe. I didn't fall asleep watching the movie Across the Universe. My brain had so much like color, light. It just shut down. I didn't go to sleep watching that movie. My brain just said, I'm out. That's what happens when I watch Letterkenny. Too much of it.
Gotcha.
Eventually, my brain's just like, I'm done.
Yeah,
we can't do this anymore.
Speaking of Letterkenny.
It's like, if you're going to stick around, fine, but I'm out of here.
Yeah, I get exactly what you're saying. Speaking of Letterkenny, I need to open something here. I'm trying to, for referral.
It's like, it's not very often that Mike pulls out the iPad
for reference purposes.
On the morning show.
But I watched a movie over the weekend with my wife. It wasn't a great movie. It was a star-studded movie.
Okay.
I can't find it. I can't remember the name of it. I kind of remember the name of it, but it's one of these names that has a name that you gotta. But I watched it already, so it's not like they're like, watch it again. Anyway, it's a movie. I think it came out a couple years ago.
Okay.
It is a dark comedy / drama.
Okay.
It is technically around the Christmas holiday.
Oh, Die Hard.
I'm dragging. No, it's not Die Hard. Find the stupid movie. All right, let me do it this way.
Did you watch it like on Hulu?
I watched it on Netflix.
On Netflix, okay.
I watched it on Netflix.
It wasn't Knives Out, was it?
It was not Knives Out. Hold on.
Because that new one is out. I watched part of that Glass.
That's
pretty
out.
doggone good.
It's not it. Hold on, bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a top. Well, hopefully everybody's 2023 went, or into 2023 went swimmingly. As far as like New Year's resolutions go, which is funny. I actually like stumbled into my resolution. It was completely by accident. I just lost my vape. But here's the thing about it. In losing it, I also lost, like, the coil was basically dead, and my juice was gone. So I was already out of everything. It was like the perfect time. It's like the universe was like,
I thought you had like
you're done now.
2 or 3 of those though. Like you keep at other places.
I lost the other one too.
Oh, okay.
That was months ago.
I found the movie of which I'm speaking.
There you go.
El Camino Christmas. It came out in 2017.
Okay.
It is not a great movie. It's an okay movie.
Uh-huh.
It's not funny per se. But here's why I
was like, what kept you going?
Because of the cast.
I would have given up. It's not bad.
And it was not that long of a movie. It's only
Vincent D'Onofrio, Tim Allen, Kurtwood Smith, Jessica Alba, Dax Shepard. Okay. Yeah, it's not bad. Not a bad cast.
The main girl in it.
Uh-huh.
What's say the names again here? Find the cast.
Jessica Alba, as far as the female cast, Kimberly Quinn, Michelle Milette, Hope Diaz. That's getting down the list. As far as like the main woman, I would assume is Jessica Alba.
Well, no, she's not. The main woman is Michelle Milette.
Okay.
And you know who that is?
I do.
Click on her.
I'm trying. All right, I'm clicking on her now.
Just click on her.
Uh-huh. That's not. Oh my God!
Yes.
It's Katie.
From Letterkenny.
I didn't realize her name was Michelle. Yeah, I was like, she does look really.
That's why I stuck through it. I wanted to see how they did it. I was curious.
All right.
I like Tim Allen movies. This one was kind of a snarky Tim Allen, which I liked. Dax Shepard is a cop in it. Basically, the premise of the movie is
gosh, she's really pretty.
is Dax Shepard's a cop and Michelle's character works at this convenience store. Kind of is a little misfix-it for everything, and is kind of the right-hand person for the store owner, who's Juan Guzman. Is it Juan Guzman?
Luis Guzman?
Luis Guzman. Okay, not Juan Guzman. Luis Guzman. Sorry, got my Guzmans wrong.
I got goozled.
And so it ends up where the main character's who is the dude from Yellowstone, the youngest brother from Yellowstone.
Luke Grimes.
Yes, Luke Grimes. He's Yellowstone people know him. He's the hunky brother, the cowboy kind of. He's the one running the ranch. He's married to the native woman. I can't remember her name either. I'm bad at character names, but that's who he plays on Yellowstone. But anyway, so the whole premise of the movie is that guy's trying to reconnect with family. He came back to town, ends up getting in some weird scenarios, just bad luck, and ends up now turns out he's like holding hostages in the convenience store, and that's where it all ends up. And it's a standoff between the cops, which is Dax Shepard, and the chief is the dad from that 70s show. Yeah, that 70s show. Yeah, and so there, and that's the whole premise. Tim Allen is in, and I'm not going to spoil it and all that, but and then everyone learns their life lessons and everything, and then it goes on. That's basically the premise of the movie.
But I can understand you stuck with it for that one reason.
I did, because it looked like it could be a good movie. Like it had the potential, and then I watched it and it was meh.
Yeah,
it wasn't awful. It was meh. The lines weren't memorable. The funny parts weren't that funny.
Right.
the witty banter was kind of marginal. It was not what I thought it was.
It's like when I found out that the dude that plays Squirrely Dan, he's actually a stand-up comic. And I'm trying to look at his name is K. Trevor Wilson. He did a set at Montreal at Just for Laughs. This is a few years ago.
Okay.
And really good. He's a really good stand-up. They actually reference it in the show where he talks about Squirrely Dan took the girl, the teacher that he's always talking about, took her to see this really funny stand-up comedians. He was a real good guy. He kept going on and on about Captain Crunch. And he has a bit in his stand-up act about how there's like 16 different kinds of Captain Crunch in America, and there's only like one kind of Captain Crunch in Canada. And how depressing that is. But so it's just really funny. He's referencing the fact that he went and saw himself.
I remember seeing that episode where he's doing
where they're playing catch in the front yard.
Okay. Well, there's another one later where he's doing stand-up.
Oh yeah.
They enter like a talent contest, and he kills it. And he does. Yeah, he's got the Larry the Cable Guy catchphrase type thing going on. Yeah.
Was it? Did you ever wonder?
That's right. That's right. But yeah, that movie, I can't remember. El Camino Christmas.
Already forget. That's how forgettable this movie is. He already forgot it. We were talking about it.
But it's star-studded. That's what got me. I was like, holy cat, because that's what got me. I was on Netflix and I saw it sitting there. I'm like, I've never heard of this movie. And then I'm looking at the cast. I'm like, how have I not seen this movie? There's a lot of people in there that I dig. Let's watch it. And I was disappointed.
And I was let down. I do, just based on what I saw from Glass Onion yesterday, I really do want to go back and watch the original Knives Out and this
I've never seen those. They look intriguing.
When you said star-studded, that's what triggered in my head, because it does. That movie has everybody in it.
It kind of reminds me of, and I've never seen it, so this might not be an accurate, but just commercial watching it feels like it's a slightly darker, wittier Clue movie. Like, you remember the Clue with the...
You know what? You're not that far off, because as I've gathered it, it's a murder mystery. Yeah. Essentially.
But it looks like it's Clue, but little comedy, but darker.
Right.
Like, not as slapsticky as Clue was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's my impression. But it is that whodunit, it could be all, and then it'll be the least likely person in the bunch.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to check him out for sure.
Yeah. That one and I keep seeing commercials on like TBS or TNT for, I guess they're gonna, it's like the broadcast debut of the original Knives Out. And I was like, well, I didn't see that one either. Maybe I should watch it. But I think
I thought that was on Netflix.
It might be.
It's not.
Oh, it's not?
No, we looked into it. You can get them on. You can get it Redbox. It's available on Amazon.
Well, TBS is showing it like Friday night or one of these nights. I can't remember. I kept seeing the commercials for it.
24 hours of Knives Out. It might be something worth checking out.
I'm going to guess usually Friday nights they show like their little movies on TBS.
New movies.
Yeah. Right. TBS and all of that. So, you know what else is kind of, and this is my sad old people thing, and my wife regimented television watching. Because CW has not been available to me for like a month and a half now.
Really?
If you have DirecTV, you do not have CW, and you've not had CW for almost over a month, going on 2.
So I guess from the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry that you can't watch Penn and Teller's Fool Us. But what else? What else is there?
Well,
you're not a 16-year-old girl.
I'm not.
That network shouldn't appeal to you.
But from 6 to 7, that's when I'm usually watching Young Children or Big Bang Theory, and I usually watch it on that channel until we get to the good program.
Okay.
Because I don't want to watch another hour of news. That was the compromise I made years ago with my wife. Otherwise, I'd still be watching news. Finally, after hour number 2 or 3 of news, I'm like, can we stop watching the same stories over and over again for 3 straight hours?
It's funny that you mentioned the CW, because I've been listening to that Scrubs rewatch podcast, Fake Doctors, Real Friends, but I'm listening to the back episodes. Like it started back in 2020, and it's really funny to listen to the show with with hindsight, because like they were just Donald Faison just started talking about how he scored this great role, and that great role was Professor Utonium in the reboot of the Powerpuff Girls, the live action reboot of the Powerpuff Girls. But
that was all Chinese you just spoke to me.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's since been like they've canceled it. They've reworked the script. He's still supposedly involved, but the script leaked, and it's so bad.
Oh, really?
It's like it feels like a 60-year-old wrote it to appeal to like teens and 20-somethings. Like it says stuff like, I mean, come on, like moveon.org. Yeah, like it's horrible. It's like dropping phraseology that was popular like 4 years ago.
Just redo Clueless.
It's just got very fellow young people vibes to it, you know?
Just tell them it's Clueless. Put Clueless in there, repackage it as Powder Puff Girls, and call it Powder Puff.
Should,
and honestly, they probably would. A whole generation wouldn't even realize it. They just think we all know it's Clueless, but they'll think, oh.
Exactly.
This Alicia Silverstone. She's going to be big.
It's looking pretty bad.
And then all of them been watching Friends reboot. So then they'll be like, "Hey, Phoebe's boyfriend's in this too." Oh man, it is 9:28. Probably should play some commercials and news. So let's do this. Let's take a quick commercial break, and then we'll pause for news after that, and then we'll be back on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keon at Carabelli Dental. Same-day smiles are what we do. My passion is helping patients chew, talk, and live with confidence. That's why I'm one of the few doctors in the U.S. who can create beautiful same-day smiles with the latest digital implant technology. This procedure is life-changing. Just ask Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean. I've been that voice that you've heard on the radio for most of my life, but I'm also a dad to two amazing kids. I've had a million reasons to smile, but in all my old pictures, I was never smiling. Truth is that life of improper care and being dealt a bad hand genetically left me practically with no teeth. It affected everything from the way I ate, the way I talked, and of course how I interacted with people. And that's where Dr. Keon and Carabelli stepped in. They eased my fears. They explained every step of the process in a way that I could understand, and they made me feel almost like I was part of the team. And now I can't stop smiling. I have so much more confidence, and I love looking in the mirror now. I can't explain how much of a difference Dr. Keon's dental implant process made for me.
Our team can help you find your smile too. Come see us at Carabelli Dental, 575-622-4455.
The numbers don't lie. Crime is up in southeastern New Mexico. In 2021, Roswell had almost 40 crimes per 1,000, including larceny, assault battery, burglary, motor vehicle theft, robbery, and homicide. These days, the best defense you can get is having a locally owned company install the best security system available. That's Zena Security Services. They offer real security solutions for your home and business. When it comes to your safety, you need a locally owned, locally minded security company at your defense. Call Zena Security Services today, 575-626-3521, 575-626-3521. If you need a Kubota that works and plays hard, stop looking. You'll find everything you need at Amigo Machinery. When it comes to tough Kubota tractors, mowers, construction equipment, and utility vehicles, all with low-rate financing, Amigo Machinery is your one-stop shop. We are passionately committed to providing our customers with the highest quality products, most innovative solutions, and services delivered with integrity and professionalism. Stop by Amigo Machinery in Roswell or see us online at amigo-machinery.com.
It takes a long time to develop trust. At LaGrone Funeral Chapel, they've been earning your trust for decades. They understand how important it is to friends and family to celebrate a life in the way you choose. The professionals at LaGrone will ease your stress and anxieties. They'll provide the guidance you need to select a service that's appropriate. And that's what they've been doing for generations, earning your trust and doing the right thing. LaGrone Funeral Chapel and Crematory, 900 South Main in Roswell. Online at LaGroneFuneralChapels.com.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
With your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Sorello. Carlsbad Mayor Dale Janway is taking a look back on 2022. In his final letter to the Community of the Year, Janway said one of the biggest accomplishments was the enhancements to the Carlsbad Beach area, which include new soccer goals, pickleball and volleyball courts, and an additional picnic area with shade structures. Janway says there's even more on the horizon, which includes development of a mini golf course. Roswell police are investigating a shooting Friday night that left one person dead at the Leisure Inn, 2700 West 2nd Street. 27-year-old Anthony McCullough was arrested the following morning after admitting to police that he shot 32-year-old Adam Trujillo. McCullough reportedly told police that the shooting happened after an argument, but he claims Trujillo threatened him first. A statement from Roswell police says McCullough performed CPR on Trujillo, but the man never recovered. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
There is such hatred out there on the left. The people that seem to bear the brunt of this hatred in a PC world, a woke world, it doesn't matter. If you're African American and you're a conservative, it's just open season in terms of the type of rhetoric that is used so often against African American conservatives. Yeah, we saw this happening to Herschel Walker. And it's said on the media on a regular basis, and there's no outrage, there's no consequences. We don't call for firings or boycotts or cancellations or any of this stuff. But I mean, if you said it about any other individual group, it would never be tolerated. It's the double standard stench that bothers me the most.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
War, inflation, and $30 trillion in debt. It's looking like 2008 all over again. Millions of Americans watch their retirement savings disappear, while those who invested in physical gold and silver were protected. And if you have $50,000 or more in your IRA, 401k, or savings, you could be at risk again. Right now, thousands of Americans are using an IRS loophole to add physical gold and silver to their retirement savings. So call 855-815-GOLD to get a free gold kit and learn how you could get $10,000 or more in free silver to protect your retirement savings. Goldco has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and they have placed over $1 billion in precious metals. We could be looking at a recession worse than 2008, so don't wait. Call Goldco today. Call 855-815-GOLD. That's 855-815-GOLD.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We may get a little bit of cloud cover for a few areas this morning, but turning sunny this afternoon, and it will be a lot cooler. Wind stays gusty, too, at 25 to 35 miles per hour, but we should have some sunshine through the rest of today, and we'll be in the mid-to-upper 50s. Clear and very windy overnight, mid-30s, and then tomorrow, not quite as windy, sunshine, and our afternoon high back up to 60.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. A group of 12 or more cows is called a flink. If you have only 11 cows, that's called a lot of cow pies. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:35. Taking a look at that weather. Currently 47 here in Roswell. Humidity is at 44%. Winds are calm at the moment. Mostly sunny today. Expect highs in the mid-50s. 55 officially. A little breezy this afternoon. West winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Mostly clear tonight with an overnight low of 33. West winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. For your Wednesday, sunny. Highs near 60 tomorrow. West winds 10 to 15. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy. Overnight low of 29 degrees. West winds 5 to 10. Thursday, mostly sunny, 61. South winds 5 to 10. Friday, mostly sunny and 68. Yeah, we're going to be pushing 70 on Friday.
Shoot.
I like it. Mm-hmm. And then for the weekend, a little cooler. Not bad, but cooler than 68. Mm-hmm. Mostly sunny, 59 on Saturday. Sunny, 58 on Sunday. So that's what we're looking at. So Midland, fair to Midland with a warm Friday.
Yeah, I'll take her.
I'll take it too. Yep. So, did y'all go anywhere or do anything, or just kind of just? I mean, they went to a biker party.
We stayed here in town. No, it was mostly just just looking for places to be. I mean, yesterday I was planning on taking the kids, to a park, but then it started raining early in the morning, so I'm like, well, that idea's out. So I thought I'll take them to the play place. Then the weather started getting nice, and the play date that I had set up for them was like, well, it's nice out, we could do that. So now now we're going to the play place and we're going to the park. And then for some reason, at some point, I had said, we might go check out this new candy shop in town that just opened up. And so when we go to the candy store, I'm like, could we spread this out a little bit? Kids, could we just spread the love and the joy out just a little bit so we're not just blowing our wad all one day?
The only time I really went out yesterday was I met my wife for lunch at Sarah's.
Dang.
That was all. I went, got up, kicked back, watched TV, had my shower, just kind of relaxed, watching TV, and then I got ready and went and had lunch at Sarah's with Kim, and then she went back to work, and I went home and chilled, hung out with the cats, watched movies, and then she got home and then finished out the evening. It was
made the most of your in-service day.
I devoted my day to nothing.
I gotta ask them, because that's something that it almost never happens. How was that? Getting to wake up, just only half wake up, and watch her leave, or maybe kiss your forehead and then leave.
It was nice. It was very
and then the quiet. That's right after.
Awesome. Although I ain't gonna lie, I felt like I was playing hooky all day. Like
you were doing something wrong.
Yeah, I did, and that sucked because I feel like I have nothing to be. I earned my day off here. Right. I got it. I want if I want to do nothing today, and you know what? This is how, and I loved it, and it was awful.
Right.
I got up and then, of course, got ready and everything. Well, I was turning on TV, and I didn't want to watch, because everything's Today's Show. I was like, I'm not watching this garbage. I was scrolling channels. I get to my movie channels, and, of course, the most recent Hard Knocks was there, and I hadn't watched yet. So I was like, I'll watch that. And then I just left it on whatever HBO I was on, and the movie that came on next I have not seen in 20 years. It's a bad movie, but it was nostalgic for me.
Okay.
It was a movie that came out in the 90s. Movie that came out in the 90s.
Okay.
Starring one Val Kilmer.
Okay.
And one Mira Sorvino. At First Sight.
Oh, really?
You remember that movie?
I vaguely remember that movie. It's the one where he was like blind, right?
Yes, it is Val Kilmer, Iceman.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, is blind. Or I'm blind, and so he's a blind single man. He's a massage therapist.
Okay.
As a blind man, he's blind, but how blind people have special skills and they can read your minds and smell things from 7 miles away and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, he's got all that going on. And then he meets Mira Sorvino, and they fall in love. And then it turns out that there's a procedure where maybe we can reverse his blindness. And so he does it, and then he can see. And then the whole thing is him trying to, because now he can see, he's like, he doesn't understand facial reactions, and so he's like confused, and he's got to deal with the mental health of now having sight. And then, of course, spoiler alert, it reverses, and then he's going to be blind again, and then getting back. And that's the premise of the movie. It's a sappy love. Chicks will probably love the movie. Watching it in 2023, though, oh man, the acting is bad. Val Kilmer is not good in this movie.
Val Kilmer's not necessarily
He's kind of a
good.
beatnik in this one. And he's that blind guy, but he's like, and so he's kind of playing like this chick magnet type dude, but like everything's like, it's cool, man. It's cool, man. He's got that vibe, and he just doesn't. It doesn't feel like Val Kilmer to me.
It doesn't shake out with him. Yeah, there's a lot of actors out there they're just in a lot of movies, and they get older, and people put those two things together and assume that means they're a good actor. No, it just means they're well connected.
Yeah.
I mean, Val Kilmer just surrounded himself with good.
And I'm gonna probably alienate some people here.
Sure.
Mira Sorvino.
Yeah.
Good person, not a bad actor. She was not good in this one.
Fair enough.
Like it was.
That could also come down to direction and
maybe it's like she's trying so hard to be this likable person, and it seems very fake to me. I don't know. It's like she's trying to be that 90s buddy chick or something, and it just doesn't come out right. But It was not one of my favorites. I would never watch it again. One Rotten Tomato. Yeah, it is bad, but it was on, and it was nostalgic, and I was like, I hadn't seen this movie in 100 years.
I got to tell you, I'm
going to stick around.
I think I'm learning about myself that I'm a fan of generally bad movies. Because,
yeah, I can see that for me too.
Because I watched a movie, and here's the thing: it was free on YouTube, which already tells you it's probably bad.
Mm-hmm.
But just like you, it was one of those movies from mine. It was nostalgic to me because it was from my childhood. It is a terrible movie by most people's standards, but one of my all-time favorites, starring one Pam Dauber.
Get Shorty?
Sure, but
I'm just thinking of Pam.
No, and also one John
I'm not thinking
Ritter.
of Pam Dauber. I'm thinking of I thought of Pam Grier, not Pam Dauber.
Pam Dauber, Cheers.
Yes, Mork and Mindy.
Mork and Mindy, and one John Ritter.
I know the movie you're talking about.
It is called Stay Tuned.
Stay Tuned, yeah.
It is now. It's a bad movie. It's a bad movie, but it is by far one of my favorite movies from my childhood.
One of the few movies where John Ritter and his wife worked together, I think, or is it that one, or is that Problem Child?
Problem Child.
Problem Child.
Yeah, because I don't think he was married.
I kind of lumped all those together.
But the premise of the movie is hell is a cable company, which there you go. And the devil he's selling satellite TV packages. Basically, this satellite zaps you into the programming, and you're having to go channel to channel to try to find your way out. Basically, if you make it 24 hours, you're granted your soul back. If not, you die. If you die in the programming, you die in real life. The best part of this movie, though, was just all of the parody. Was all of just like
the TV show parodies. Yeah,
it was, instead of Northern Exposure, theirs was Northern Overexposure. The story of a doctor who moves to Alaska and freezes to death.
If I remember right, the principal from Ferris Bueller's Day Off is in it, and he looks extra red.
He's the devil. He's Spike.
But they look like he looks like a man with a sunburn the whole movie.
He plays Spike, and he's got a remote control that pops out of his sleeve and then twirls and then goes back in. It's one of the coolest things ever. But no, they did a cartoon, and here's the cool thing: is they actually had Warner Brothers Animations come in and animate the cartoon they used in the movie.
Oh, okay.
So like it's true to form, like a
Jeffrey Jones is the actor's name.
Jeffrey Jones. Of Spike?
Yes.
Okay. Or the principal from Ferris Bueller. But yeah, it's such a bad movie, but it's one of the funniest movies of all time. And the other thing is like you're talking about bad acting, the bad acting of the kids in this movie. There's a scene, and I had to go back and I rewound it and watched it again because it's so bad. The son is trying to convince his sister that his parents got zapped into the TV, and I guess when they got zapped in, she lost her watch. The wife did, lost her watch, and he goes, "I found this by the satellite dish," and she stares at it for a long time, and just in the stupidest delivery I've ever heard, she goes, "Mom's watch." It was I'm like, okay, let's just go back, because I didn't realize how bad that was when I was a kid.
Yeah,
that was bad.
You know what? There's a couple movies in that era, or that same style movies that I watched ad nauseum in that time, and it was mostly because we had HBO and they show these movies 52 times and there's nothing on, so you end up watching the same. Like Silverado, I've seen 8.7 billion times.
Right.
Two movies that I can think of off the top of my head that were like that on HBO ad nauseum that I watched in the late 80s, early 90s, whenever it was. The first movie was Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Yep.
And that was probably 90s.
That was
early 90s.
89, 90. That was a movie that taught me what petty cash was.
Yeah.
And when I found out what is nothing like what petty cash actually is, I was very disappointed.
Yeah.
I'm like, at some point you're just going to encounter a briefcase full of cash. And that's just petty cash.
Right. And the other movie, to be honest, I don't think there's any really famous, like now famous actors in it. It was a movie called Just One of the Guys.
Okay.
And the premise of the movie was a high school, well, she's college age. I think she's a college age girl in this.
Is this one of those girl dresses like a boy?
Yes.
Okay.
And she's trying to go to a different school or something.
85.
And she dresses up like a dude in high school to get a story or something.
Uh-huh.
And she ends up falling in love with like the high school quarterback or whatever, and her brother's like the witty banter.
I'm gonna guess because you're right. There's almost nobody famous in this movie.
Yeah,
except for a young William Zabka.
Ah, he's in it.
Johnny's in it.
Okay. I'm trying to think, where is he in it in there? I think he's the bad guy in that one too. The jerk boy, the jerk high school bully guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's that in that one too, now that I think of it.
Chris checking in, he said, do you remember the movie Soul Man? Which I vaguely do.
I've seen that 100 times. Soul Man, you could not show that movie today. People would blow up. The premise of that movie was Thomas Howell.
Okay.
C. Thomas Howell can't get into college.
Right.
So he applies for a scholarship and gets awarded. Now he can go to college. Problem is, the scholarship is a minority scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
C. Thomas Howell's white.
Right.
In case you haven't noticed. Go watch The Outsiders, Gettysburg. He's in a couple of these movies. But anyway, so he makes himself black, and that's hence the Soul Man. And so now he's going to college as a black man.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's very stereotypic. It's like, I'm sure it would get flagged for 80,000 things today.
Sure.
But,
for a brief second,
Soul Man.
I
I
thought,
remember that movie well.
For a brief second, I thought you were talking about another movie, which actually this one came out in 2001. Do you remember the movie called Down to Earth?
That does sound familiar. That's the one with Chris Rock.
Chris Rock.
Yes, and he dies.
He dies and comes back as an old white man.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. What's funny is every now and again you'll just see like a random clip from like a movie like that on TikTok. And sure enough, one popped up the other day, and it's the scene from The Bank.
Okay.
If you're familiar at all with the movie, it's I can't remember what the song is that comes on. Some rap song comes on, and he starts getting into it, and he starts rapping to it, and there's a few N-words in it.
Okay.
And it shows him as Chris Rock, like really getting into it, and like rapping like all the beat, and then it cuts to the old white guy. And there's like a bunch of black guys over here, and he's saying all the lines, and they walk over to him, and they go, "Yo, excuse me." He turns around, yes, bam, punches him right in the face. It was just a random clip, but yeah, that's one of those that have trouble making today. I feel like.
Don't hold up well. It doesn't. Yeah.
But,
there was a couple. I mean, Porky's was one I've seen 1,000 times, and the Porky's and Porky's Revenge. Hollywood Nights was one in the early 80s. It's very a la kind of that Porky's, maybe a little bit more.
What was the movie? I heard a fact.
But they showed them at nauseum on those channels.
That it was, I want to say it's because of Porky's that the movie Home Alone got made.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of a weird connection.
It is. It's a very weird connection. I'm trying to remember exactly the connection. I think it has something to do with like John Hughes was like basically I think he worked on Porky's, and he was like told he's never going to work in this industry again, but like he had a connection from that movie that like helped him finance, and he put together Home Alone and that whole thing. But yeah, there's some connection, I can't remember what it is. There's some loose connection between Porky's and Home Alone.
Yeah.
I just can't remember what it is. There's some weird thing.
And that'd be interesting because Porky's, I remember it was because of course a kid my age there's no way I'm supposed to be seeing.
Oh yeah,
I snuck and watched it. Of
sure,
course, because I had HBO and can't watch me all the time. And so I ended up seeing it. This is something I'm having trouble with. So I watched the new Top Gun movie again because it's on Paramount Plus. So I said, I'm going to watch it. So we watched it over the break, and I don't know why I can't. He's a great actor. I just don't recognize him as him in this one. Miles Teller.
Oh, yeah.
He plays basically Goose's kid in Top Gun movie. He's also famous because he was in, was it Mad Men or one of those shows? He was in one of those. I'm not sure. I didn't watch that one. But I know him from watching The Offer.
Okay.
If you have not watched The Offer and you have HBO Prime, Amazon Prime, go watch The Offer. It is amazing. It's a television limited TV series about the making of The Godfather.
Right.
I've talked about on this show. It's a 10. It's one of my favorite things that Amazon's ever put out. It's even, I'd say, better than The Boys, and I like The Boys. But anyway, Miles Teller's the star of that. He's the producer that's kind of the story center around. And so when I think of him, I think of him in that movie. And he looks nothing like that in Top Gun Maverick.
You tend to like recognize them or think of them from the thing you've seen them in.
But he's
most.
so, to me, like other actors, I'm like, oh, there's like Tom Cruise. It's Tom Cruise. You don't care if he's Tom Cruise in Maverick or Tom Cruise in A Few Good Men or Tom Cruise in one of the Mission Impossible. It's still, hey, that's. But Miles Teller, I forget that's him. Like I every time I look, and I'm just like, I can't believe it's the same dude from The Offer.
That's the mark of a good actor.
He's a great actor.
Can completely.
I legit don't see them as the two same men. Like they don't look alike to me. They don't sound alike to me. They don't talk. Like it's two completely. And great. He's doing it, but I lose. Like I'm saying, you watch Tom Cruise, and there's still a hint of Tom Cruise, even though he's, Maverick or the whatever character he's playing. Ethan or whatever it is,
right? But a lot of those actors from past generations, they have a tendency to act one very specific way, and they get cast in roles that accentuate that one style. Yeah, like your Bruce Willis, for example. It's just the first name that popped in my head. They had that very specific acting style. Scorsese, he tends to cast those specific actors that act in those specific ways. Yeah, so. There was that style, but actors today, I feel like, are much more like three-dimensional, able to kind of jump into different roles. And the other thing is,
costuming and CGI is better too.
It's true, insanely, like worlds better at affecting other accents than previous actors were.
That's true.
Like, it's insane how much better British people are at affecting American accents than they used to be.
Right, half of our American shows are all British people.
Yeah.
You can't watch The Walking Dead or any of those other shows. Half of them are all British.
I watched 3 seasons of that. What was that?
Yellowstone.
No, that
she's British. The girl Beth.
Yeah.
The redhead. She's as British as they come.
13 Reasons Why. I watched like 3 seasons of that, and then I found like a behind the scenes thing, and they cut, and then they went to her like talking head interview segment. Yeah. Like, she's British? What? I had no clue.
Yeah.
For like 3 full seasons.
And then a few of them talk with an accented fake British accent. And you're like, are they British or are they just being...
Same thing with Millie Bobby Brown. 11? Yeah. Perfect American accent when she's talking, like on the show. Straight up British. Straight up British with the brogue and everything.
Nice. We got to take a quick break to wrap. Let's get you into your Wall Street business update, quick break, and then we'll wrap up the show. You're welcome for some of you. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. The bulls were in the driver's seat on Wall Street this morning. Stocks opened higher to start off the year. Elsewhere, markets in Frankfurt, Shanghai, and Hong Kong advanced. Seoul declined. Oil prices rose. The first regular shipment of liquefied natural gas from the U.S. has arrived in Germany, part of a wide-reaching effort to help the country replace energy supplies it previously received from Russia. The annual tech industry event, they used to call it the Consumer Electronics Show, is returning to Las Vegas this week with the hope that it will look more like it did before the coronavirus pandemic hit. Tesla reports selling a record 1.3 million vehicles last year. However, that number falls short of CEO Elon Musk's pledge to grow the company's sales by almost 50% nearly every year. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing here, and I can tell you it's not always easy being a female in a male-dominated business like roofing. I remember one time I was at a meeting to bid on the roof for a local college, and it was me and 13 men. Well, I won that bid, and I'd like to win your business too. My dad was a contractor, and I've been around building and roofing my whole life. I'm licensed and bonded, and I've forgotten more about roofing than most roofers ever knew in the first place. But what really sets Trustmark apart is an obsessive attention to detail that ensures that everything goes smoothly the first time. I promise we will treat you right with respect, and we will make you happy. So yeah, it might be a bit odd for a woman to own a roofing company, but give us a try. Let us give you an estimate for your roof. I think you'll be glad you called. For all your roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
Hey, did you know that January 15th is the last day to enroll for health insurance for coverage in 2023? And since health insurance is now literally more affordable than ever, low cost or even no cost health insurance for you and your family is more affordable than you've ever thought. Let the friendly and knowledgeable team at Be Well NM guide you through the process. Our services are absolutely free, but you have to enroll before the January 15th deadline for coverage in 2023. Visit BeWellNM.com today.
As farmers and ranchers, we're here for each other when times get tough. We talk about the weather, the markets, and the increasing costs of getting by that make our way of life challenging.
But let's also be there for each other during the struggles we don't always talk about. It's okay to open up about farm stress. You're not alone. A healthy farm or ranch is nothing without a healthy you.
Find resources to start the conversation on mental health at Here to Help NM.
Sponsored by the National Institute of Food and Agriculture through the New Mexico Farm and Ranch Stress Assistance Network.
If you plug your nose, you can't tell the difference between an apple, potato, and an onion, unless you open your eyes. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. Closing in on 9:58. About ready to wrap up today's show. If you missed any part of it, you can check it out at your leisure. Log on to ksvptv.com. Click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel. You'll find the entire show there in one session if you want to watch it. And then any interviews we have, they'll separate and break out here in just a little bit and post up there by themselves, too, free to check out. In the 7 o'clock hour, we had Robert Sherman join us with the Walker Aviation Museum. Got a great update from him talking about some of the new stuff they've got available, checking out the website, some of the additions they've made to that, and, of course, their need for volunteers and always inviting folks to come check out the museum there at the airport. So that interview is available for you there. In the 8 o'clock hour, we replayed an interview, which you can go check out right now. We had the folks from American Legion Post 61 join us, give us an update on what they've got going for 2023 and just kind of recapping 2022. And then we just chit-chatted this hour. So if you, for whatever reason, want to hear that, you can go back and listen to it. Just that'll be in the main show feed. That's not separated. You just take the little bar there and scroll it towards the end of the show, and you can find it all there. So it's there whenever you want, ksvptv.com. Don't forget high school sports, all of that you can find there, too, as well, and our YouTube channel, too. So if you're looking for any Coyotes or Goddard Rocket or Artesia Bulldog Sports, you can go to ksvptv.com, or you can go to our YouTube channel and find it all there as well. All right, that's going to do it for us. Have an amazing day. We'll talk to you bright and early, 7 a.m. tomorrow. Take care.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEN.